All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of From the Ground Up. This is episode 2 of the new season. Right now, today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very, very special guest. I've been trying to get this guy on the show for a couple years now, but we finally been able to lock in and make it happen. This was my guy right here. When I say this was my guy, like I got to see this man live in person. We went to the same high school, so I got to see a lot of his career in high school also as well. So it's honestly an honor to have this guy on the show. Welcome to the show, DJ Richardson. Is in the building.
In the building. It's been
building.
a while.
Man, we getting it popping like this. Man, we getting it popping like this process. This season is all about highlighting people who deserve their flowers, and DJ is definitely one of those guys. So I definitely had to get him on the show. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm blessed. Can't call it blessed. Sorry, man. We definitely supposed to do this for 2 years, and like I said, it's time consuming and busy, and traveling and all that type of stuff, moving Memphis. So
yeah, absolutely, but it's all good. But we are locked in at this particular moment. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So let's start off with your middle school career, because I feel like that's where everything kind of kicked off at that particular point for you, as far as getting on the radar for everybody throughout the city, like knowing your name, knowing that you had a promising future. So getting to Sterling as a fifth grader, knowing that the basketball is something that you wanted to do, like what was kind of the mindset going into that middle school year and kind of, like I said, just getting started in those early stages?
Anybody going to Sterling, especially around that time, it's always been a powerhouse.
Right.
And I had names already before me there. Marcellus went there, AJ Guyton went there. Pictures you see it every day walking through the hallway on the wall. So Sterling always meant something. It was tough. We had Sherrick that played in the NFL. He was an 8th grader. You had some Brian Lee was pretty good. We had a lot of guys. Lawrence Harden. It was just our coach too. It was he prepared us for the next step. It was so structured, the way Coach Gillespie had us at Sterling. In my 5th grade year, it was kind of crazy. I was 5 foot tall. And then 8th grade, I was 6 foot. And, one of my favorite memories is, our upperclassmen, Andre Allen, they, was going to pick our shoes, and they chose to pick high top, white and gold Air Force One. So that's how they broke in my 5th grade.
Man.
Yeah, so it was a good experience, though. I missed the middle school days. Coach Gillespie did something that stuck with me throughout my whole career. Something he said in practice. We had guys dribbling the ball a lot and wasn't passing it. And Coach told us all to get on the line. And he said, when I tell y'all to go, I want y'all to run as fast as y'all can from this end to the other end. So he said, go. Got the ball and threw it fast. He threw the ball and hit the wall before everybody. And that was letting us know that a pass is, quicker than a dribble.
Wow.
So I learned a lot from Coach Gillespie.
Yeah. That's really profound for you to learn that lesson in middle school. Like that's tough. Like that's different. Like that's a real coach who wants y'all to understand the bigger picture than just, being in the moment, I guess, more so than anything. So I know you said you went to Sterling, which Sterling was, like, at that time popular middle school. Like all the hoopers, especially like the boys, was going to Sterling. Like y'all had things on lock. So like, who are some of the players that you got to play with and kind of see their game form at that particular time before they became bigger names in the city? Because y'all had some dogs with y'all. So who are some of those guys?
I'm gonna start with my best friend, childhood friend, growing up, Roosevelt Jones. He was my neighbor. We lived next door, and it was hard to say. Like then, like we had a lot of good players on the team. Like I never wanted to cancel nobody out, but mostly every team me and Rose been on, we been the stars, and we was neighbors, and we grew up together, shot on the same rim. But he one of my favorites because we grew up together. We seen every step. That's one person he probably can tell the story as good as I can. Just from us growing up, middle school, riding the bus every day, going to Central. So Rose won, you know, being able to see Darikas and Paris grow. We all started off as street ball players. You know, we was at every 3-on-3, every Gus Macker, every PA threes. Like Coach Ruff and them had one at the hotel on Western, I think. We played that one. So me, Darikas, Paris. You had even Jay Abel was good.
Yes, I remember Jay Abel.
Jay was good. My boy Michael Ward, Bianca Ward brother. He's still like one of my best friends. He was good. Adam Greer, he was about 5'6", good rebounder. So that's my 8th grade team. In 7th grade, we had Rose, Tracy. You know, we had a very stacked team. Seeing these guys grow into high school, especially Darikas and Paris. You know, his name get forgot about a lot. People don't really mention Paris.
That's true.
Paris, you know, people forget that Paris played Division I, and that's what people forget, and his name don't get brought up in a lot of conversations.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's kind of what I'm trying to do here with just interviewing different people from the city, because there's a lot of names that a lot of people don't mention or just don't even know about that had such an impact, that had such a hand on the city and how basketball is played, I'm sure now and even during that time. So being that you play for such a stacked team, like, how are you guys able to come together and get on the same page to be able to be so dominant and, you know, go for championships and things of that nature? Like, how did you guys make it work?
Playing outside with each other too. You know, we didn't just play at practice. We played on a playground. We'd go to Woodrow Wilson and play. We'll go to, that's when Sterling had their rims up, play there. We'd play in my backyard. So it was so crazy. I was talking to my brother the other day. And right after, so this is about my 7th grade year. So he would have been about a junior. That makes Sean Livingston a senior at this time. After Sean graduated, that Jeff Wires, the Zach Davis, my brother, Orlando Edwards, you know, that group of guys at Central was coming to scrimmage us at Sterling, and we was holding our own, sometimes beating them. So was beating, and this guys that was off a championship team from the state of Illinois. And we talking about a 7th to 8th grade Sterling team that's competing with these guys. So that just kind of show you that situation.
Yeah. To not really cut you off, but at that moment, when you guys kind of started to see, like, okay, we can compete with these guys, like, what does that do for us? Like, for a 7th, you know, so like for a 7th and 8th grader who's like, these are the top dogs of the city that we are competing against. So, like, what does that do for your confidence at that moment?
We just knew we was coming. They knew what was going on.
They knew what was up.
they was going. I mean, they was getting out the way for us to come. You know, our hope, like, because every time I went to a school, my brother was going out. So when I came into Central, he was going to college. So I never got a chance to really play with my brother, but he know we was on our way, and they was a big part of that. And especially for myself, the 2 guys that got me tough was my brother and Jamar Smith. They didn't take it easy. They didn't take it. Couldn't even shoot floaters. They smack it, go to the house crying. Yeah, go in the house crying. Get back outside.
Yeah. So, you know, I kind of want to piggyback off that a little bit, because I talking to Easy and D White, like, you know, I talked to them about the competition level in their particular area, and you and I are pretty much the same. I mean, even though they're probably like a year or so, maybe 2 younger than us, but you and I are on the same kind of wavelength as far as like eras go. So, like, with all of that, with your older brother and Jamar Smith, and then playing against other top guys in the city, like, what is that competition like, and what does it do for your mental, like your mentality? Because you always, to me, at least from what I could observe, was always just very like your face expressions never really changed. Like, you just were kind of just like even kill, like, I'm gonna just coast this out. But you still had that like attack mentality, but it was never like, it never showed in your emotions. Like, you never really displayed that on your face. So, like, how did that help mold your mentality?
I always been a guy like that. I put in more work behind the scenes than people would even imagine, and that's what helped me become a great player. My mom used to get mad. I used to be outside shoveling up the backyard. After shoveling the backyard up, I used to go out there and play. Or if it's hot outside, I always stayed out there and played, and I'd be out there by myself for hours. And I used to always imagine, okay, today I'm gonna act like I'm gonna score 60 points like Allen Iverson. How would he score 60? Or do some of his moves, his footwork. Okay, how Kobe would score 60. So
Right.
I'll just score 60 points and I'll be adding the points at the same time, counting them out loud. So that's the same thing, building my leadership, while I'm tired, I'm still talking.
Yeah.
And that helped me get a lot of toughness, just, spend a lot of time out there by myself. And
Right.
I really, like, my mom would be the perfect person to answer the question. Like, she used to have
Yeah.
to come in the house. I used to do a lot of stuff by myself out there playing. So I was self-motivated.
Absolutely. That's dope. So I know you mentioned Roosevelt Jones, who was childhood friend, somebody you grew up with. I know when you and I were talking prior to this interview, you mentioned John Ted Lindsay, his father, how he also had like an influence and an effect on you. So could you talk about maybe what a role exactly he played in your life at that time?
Me and John Tell we was real cool already. John Tell dad reached out my 8th grade year and said, Illinois wanted this, it's this all-star game in Chicago. So they wanted the 2 best players from Peoria to come up to Bloomington to try out for the team. We had to try out. I played against, they had me guarding Dimitri Riggs. I didn't know him at the time. Didn't know, wasn't really looking at rankings at this time or nothing like that. They had me going up against him. Made the team happen in Chicago. So we playing against, so we got like the bottom half of Illinois and then Chicago area. So this is the first time I seen Michael Jordan. Marcus was playing, Jordan Walker. It was a lot of guys with names, and this was the first time I seen a wing player at 6'6". We don't have those type of players.
Not at all.
So All-Star game happened, and I dropped 30, and Michael Jordan's son got the MVP because his team won, and I got the co-MVP. So after this one game, this is what game that took me to a whole nother level. Because that one game, not only showing me, like, playing against my brother and all them guys, this showed me that I can compete with the top players in the world, in my age. And I always was telling a lot of kids this. I never went to none of my middle school practices at 100%. Never. Because every night I did calf raises, I did abs, and I did push-ups. So I went to practice walking around school, calves tight. So a day or two before the game, I'll be 100%. Now, faster than everybody, jump higher. I'm mentally ready. I'm focused. So going to that game, a lot of that stuff came out. And, I went from not being ranked in the state of Illinois to jumping straight to 17, ranked in the state. And from then, it started I kept chipping down, chip. About the middle of the summer, going to the 9th grade, I had 4 full-ride scholarships.
Wow.
Illinois, Baylor, I think Bradley, and James Howard offered me that's when he was at Texas A&M.
So this is going into high school?
Yeah, I haven't stepped 1 foot in Central as a student.
Wow.
Yeah.
So going back to what you were talking about, as far as, like you said, doing calf raises every night, doing abs, doing certain workouts by yourself. How are you able to discipline yourself enough to do that for one every single day, and to know already, like, mentally, I have to, a couple days prior to game time or practice time, I have to prepare and have my body completely ready so that I separate myself from everybody else. Like, where does that discipline come from to make those kind of things happen?
Write down my goals.
Okay.
I always wrote down my goals, and all my goals I wrote down, I accomplished them. I put start as a freshman on varsity, check mark. It happened. So I knew myself, to accomplish those goals, I had to stick to my plan.
Absolutely.
And I never changed my goals, but the plan never changed either, because I was dedicated to better myself. I was self-motivated, and I know what I wanted, and I know where I wanted to go. I knew if I wanted to go to the, to the NBA or, be a professional player, what I had to do. And,
I said absolutely. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, I just had to, had to stay focused. I wasn't really in having girlfriends or nothing like that when I was in high school or middle school, because I was focused. I didn't want distractions. So
Right. Yeah, that's different. And since you brought it up, we can go ahead and dive into it. So you went to Central. We went to Central.
we went
best
to Central. Yeah.
best ever.
Yeah, we was in there lit.
Yeah, we was definitely for sure in there lit. So you went to Central. Because I'm sure every high school wanted you to go there. Like I'm sure that you had a lot of people that were trying to get you to go to this high school, that high school, whatever the case. What made you choose Central? And when you first got to Central, what were your thoughts as far as like? I mean, actually, you know what? Before I even ask that, we'll just start there. What made you choose Central?
I think most high schools already knew I was going to Central because
Okay.
I was a ball boy when Sean them was a juniors and seniors. So my brother was there. I leave my Sterling practice and go straight to Central practice and come home with him. So I mean, I'm on the pictures with Sean them won the championship. I'm on those pictures. So I was a ball boy. I traveled with them when they went out of town and everything. Stayed in the hotel rooms. They already knew most schools, they knew I was going to Central.
As a ball boy, like, because with Sean, you know, like it's an exclusive for us. Like, we know that Sean is like the elite. When you talk about Illinois hoopers, you gotta have Sean in that list.
Oh,
And at
sure.
that time, he had the city on smash. So, like, as a ball boy being up under them, like, what was that like for you?
It was great. I mean, just being around that team and the group of guys, because you know the year before that, his junior year, you know that's that group where they had Danny Ruff and all them. That was that group, you know. So me being at that age, I basically, can you hear me? You still there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
So like kind of piggybacking off the middle school, I was able to dissect each and that last one of these guys on the teams that came through the team, and I took a positive from every last one of these guys, and any negative that they want, I cut it out. Like, okay, he do that, I'm gonna cut that out. I ain't gonna never do that. I'm not gonna do that. And being around these guys helped me gain something positive from each one of these guys. And so from character to sports, you know, so it wasn't just basketball, it was just how you carry yourself, how you act, you know, because being a ball boy for Central at this time, had bodyguards and, you know, it's the top team in the country. So,
wow.
So it helped me carry my image as a person. I already had that type of star image from being with them, so I know how to carry myself like a star, and it started at a young age.
That's incredible. So you kind of, like I said, that was the example for you. You got to see it in person, like where you were like, okay, like you said, this guy does this, I'm not gonna do that. This guy does that, I'm not gonna do that. So what are some good habits or just good feedback that you took from being around those guys and seeing that up close and personal every day?
Just character. Like, you know, all the guys had good characters. They're always good guys. For instance, Brandon Lee. Just watching him on the basketball court, just his focus, how locked in he was on the defensive end, how low he was on defense, how he don't have his hands down. He have his hands, you know, either one down or both out, like, you know, just the focus that Brandon Lee had. And I'm like, man, I want to defend just like him or better. So he somebody I also looked up to. You know, 6-foot guy was posting up people, was strong, was tough. My brother, he was you know, he can shoot, he can lead, you know, and I got to come home to him every day, and you know, we get into it and we right back, you know, so just him, Orlando toughness, and you know, Orlando Edwards still what he doing today for the kid.
Absolutely.
He was a lot of guys that came up from that Carver area. You know, Lando was the one training him. You know, Browns, Teron Burnsides, and Torres. I can go on and on a list of guys that was up down there on that Carver basketball court that Lando was, you know, giving them the right guidance to be a good player.
Absolutely. So now you're at Central now. You're playing freshman year. What is your freshman year like, going from having all the hype in the city as a middle schooler to now you're a freshman and you pretty much essentially starting all over, like you're fighting for a spot and fighting to kind of, you know, make your name known again on the high school level. So like, what's that like? Being after you that came from Sean and all the lessons you learned, like, what's that like?
I mean, I can't even really tell you what it's like. I'm so much of a humble person. So it's more to myself. Like I couldn't even really tell you. Like I was, just working so hard and was just focusing on what I need to focus on. I wasn't really, um, I never got stuck in the limelight. Like, I never got stuck or was thinking about, oh, I gotta do this or I'm not gonna be ranked or I'm not this or I'm not gonna be, I was just trying to get better every day. And that's all I try to do. Every day at Central, from Central, Finley Prep. I know we don't get there, but just at Central, conditioning, I try to win every time. Not compete with them, compete with myself.
Right.
And trying to see how fast I can do a sprint. And so just being able to start as a freshman with some of these guys that just was on that team, that was a championship team or got a taste of the Sean, and they might have been freshmen when Danny Ruffin was a senior and Sean was a senior. So, Ryan Greenwood, rest in peace, Ryan Greenwood. So
for sure, absolutely. So what was starting as you? So you say you started as a freshman. Around that time, I know you say you're such a humble person. You were like, focusing on yourself and your journey. Who was there anybody at that time, especially as a freshman, that you were looking at like, I gotta be better than that guy? Like, what I'm saying? Like every time I match up against this person, like I gotta be the one to come out on top in that particular matchup.
No, I was
it just you just were focused?
No, it wasn't that I was focused. It was just like I never tried to compete with after I solidified myself and started getting offers, I'm like, why? I'm coming to every game to win, to be the best player that I can be, not trying to out-better nobody, but just trying to be the best player I can be. But I never tried to compete with nobody in Peoria, because I was already in middle school traveling, playing AAU. So I seen, about 7th or 8th grade, I was in Florida already playing. So I was already seeing different stuff and different talents out there. So I never really competed with, I always had a target on my back. It was I had hardest shoes because every game since middle school, they know who I am. I had to hold my own every single game. Every time, even PE class, I cannot go and play no game.
Man, you can't take no L in PE.
Man, I still see somebody still till today that say, man, I remember I scored on you in PE class.
Wow.
So just having that target on your back for a long time, especially with myself being number 1 in the state when I chipped down from my freshman year all the way to my junior year when I left, I was number 1 in the state. And just imagine how much basketball you have to play from your freshman year to your junior year, being number 1, knowing everybody know who you are, everybody want to come take your spot. And I just, I held my own, and that's not easy because I could have got comfortable, but I knew people wanted to take my spot, so I had to work harder. Or I would have dropped from number 1 to number 5 to 10 but I stayed at number 1. That shows you how much hard work I was putting in.
Absolutely. And I remember those times because, like I said, as a fan, like I went to every one of your games I could make it to be honest with you. Like I was at every single game. So I know that for a fact, like people definitely took the opportunity to play against you as their moment to shine because you had so much going on. Like you were, ranked in the top in the city or in the state and just, had all these offers already coming into high school. So people definitely wanted to take your head off for sure. But again, it goes back to your calm demeanor. Like you never let that moment get the best of you. Like you just, like I said, every time I thought like it was always the same facial expression, same, just cool, calm demeanor. Like somebody would score you and be so hype and you just like, all right, like, and then you just go back at him on the other end. And I'm like, how does he do that? Like every single time, like I couldn't imagine that kind of pressure on my back. Like I could only, that's crazy that you were able to deal with that and keep such a cool head. You mentioned AAU because I do want to talk about that because I feel like that's definitely important in a high school basketball player's journey, especially if you are ranked. What was your AAU, like what were the AAU days like? Like are there any special players that you played with at that particular time? And just how did that prepare you for the next level, which we'll get into later?
The AAU, I mean, just being on that circuit, probably one of the best matchups I had was against John Wall.
Okay.
The whole, I went from a Reebok team. Man, that was giving me so much stuff. I was sponsored by Reebok for 3 years, and then my senior year, I was sponsored by Nike. So my last year, shout out to Troy Johnson. We had an AAU tournament. That team came to play us at Bradley. I think this was the one time I played with. I think I played with Peoria Irish this tournament, and I went crazy on the Chicago team. They had all type of ranked players on the team, and I had a outstanding tournament, and outstanding. And after that, he called me right after the game. Hey man, you want to join our team and this and that and third? Sure. Luckily, I didn't have no practice. I just was showing up to games that we barely was losing, winning tournaments. So he gave me a big opportunity, Troy Johnson. That's when I was with Illinois Stars, and then my senior year, I went to Illinois Warriors, which is also going to some more Nike tournaments now.
Gotcha.
Played against, like I said, I was one of the top performers at the Nike Peace Jam. I was a leading scorer in the Peace Jam.
Nice.
Which is this going to transition to the prep school. I had to leave early because I had to go back to summer school, and I was.
So I'm glad that you brought that up. So let's get into that, because that's definitely my next topic, because you went to Central for 3 years. And then we talked about this on the phone, but I want to bring this up because this is a raw DJ Richardson we're getting. This is raw.
Oh, okay, let's get it.
We're gonna get into it completely, because I recall that particular summer, May or not. Probably, honestly, I don't even think it was the summer. I think it might have been springtime, like right before May. Or okay, so when did you start summer school? Because then I can kind of pinpoint exactly when this article came out.
Summer school was like. What was Central Summer School? I know sometime in probably June.
Okay, so June.
July.
That makes sense. So there was a point where you were attending summer school and things of that nature. There was an article that came out in the city. I forgot which writer it was who wrote it. It don't even matter. But I just remember the paper vividly, in that article vividly, because it caught my attention because it was in the sports section, of course, and I saw your name. So like I said, at this point I'm a super fan, so I'm following everything that's going on. And I remember this particular article talking about how you pretty much put summer school on the back burner to attend these basketball camps and do AAU, and there was like this big controversy behind it, and then you end up leaving Central. So walk us through that process, because like I said, I know what I saw as just an outsider, like I'm the outside looking in, but you've never got to really explain that situation. So I want to know from you, like, what exactly happened and how did you feel about that article, man?
They said I did what? Left summer school?
Pretty much what the line that stuck out to me the most, like, and I know this is something I've kept in my head for years, because like I said, I wanted to get to a point where I got to interview you and talk to you about it, is essentially you, I guess, called either the summer school program or a teacher particularly, and you were in the airport for an AAU tournament, pretty much saying that you couldn't make it. So for them, it was well, he's not, he don't take summer so serious, he needs this, they put out all your business, his GPA is this, yeah, man, they were his GPA is this, he needs these many credits to graduate, and he's at this AAU tournament, it was insane. And I was like, bro, I wish I could just call and talk to him, because what is going on?
No, that's why sometimes, like you said, that's why it's good to talk to the source, and that's why we're here. Here. That's bad for business, because that didn't happen. I wasn't missing summer school or nothing like that. That's why I just say I had to leave one of the top tournaments in AAU tournament in the US in the summer, Nike Peace Jam, to come back to summer school. So, I finished out summer school, and, I was already committed to Illinois, and, of course they're going to try to, you got to have this type of grades and this or whatever. So it was you got to have, a 2, if you get a 2.0, you got to have a 21 on your ACT, balance scale. Tell me.
Absolutely.
So, I'm gonna keep it real. I took an ADHD test, and I said I had ADHD, and I told my mom, I said, "Mom, some stuff that's born in the classroom, I just can't focus on it. I just can't sit there and learn something that doesn't interest me, that I don't really, care for." So,
Mm-hmm.
I that's why something that I like basketball. That's why it's so easy to
Yeah,
focus on.
yeah, absolutely. That makes
So but school just wasn't, I mean, school was for me, but it wasn't for me. Like I
sense.
loved going to school, but it just wasn't interesting. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff wasn't to me. I learned a lot in school. But I only pick and chose what I wanted to lose and what I want to learn. And it shouldn't
Right.
be like that. So
Yeah.
my grades wasn't bad where I couldn't qualify for college. It was just,
Okay.
why take that route if we can just guarantee you go to prep school? Because they changed the rule. If you don't graduate from high school, then you got to go to you can't go to a 5th-year school. You got to go to straight to junior college.
Got
So
you.
I'm keeping it real raw. I'm gonna keep it real
Yeah.
raw.
All the way. All the way.
My mom called Central. My mom called Central. She asked Central. She said, I ain't gonna put nobody's name or nothing like that. She asked. She said, "Is there anything my son can do to help, for his grades or certain classes he can be in for him to
Mm-hmm.
qualify?" First thing they said was, "Well, maybe he can go to junior college." That's when my mom snatched me out of Central, because instead of trying to find a
Work
way to
with you
help,
or help. Yeah.
so that was the reason why I got
Wow.
snatched out of Central, and we talked and made the decision to go to prep school. So it wasn't like my grades was that bad where I couldn't qualify. It was just
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I'm bad at taking tests. So why take a chance if y'all can't help? And then even if y'all would have just said something differently, then maybe you can do
Mm-hmm.
junior college. I'm
Right.
number one,
Right.
one
Yeah.
top player at this time, and the first thing y'all can throw at me is junior college. So that just, my mom just,
Wasn't with
myself,
it.
my whole camp, like, because I had, at this time I had I had a whole team. I had team for
Yeah.
politics. I had a team that was talking to bloggers. I just had a whole team around me, a workout team. I had a whole team around me.
So let's stop there for a second, because I wanna dig into that a little bit. You in high school have a whole team already to address politics and address bloggers. Like, so it got pretty much, you got to the point where you had to have these things in place. And like, what made you say, okay, I'm out here by myself right now, but I need people around me that can speak for me? And then how do you go and trust those people? Because those people could turn it against you too, and they could say negative things to the bloggers and to the newspapers and to the things of that nature. So, well, I mean, like, what is that thought process like as a high school kid?
Well, rest in peace, my Aunt Pat. She was probably my number one fan. Any article that came out, any article that came out with my name on it, she got it. And
Dope.
before she gave it to me, I got like 2 or 3 scrapbooks with and big things full of newspaper articles and stuff that she gave me, every that had my name in it. She was on
Mm-hmm.
top of it. So I had like IllinoisLoyalty.com. That's like a blogger site. She was on there talking to people before, when I committed, people was bringing my name up. But it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like, I wasn't talking negative. They wasn't being there. Of course, they wasn't being messy or nothing, but they were just keeping my name out there and, saying what I was going to do next. And they was like, I had a market, somebody for marketing, and one thing people don't know, having that team too, with Mid-State 6 was, no, Mid-State Hoops. I'm sorry, Mid-State Hoops.
Yes.
That became like a Central Illinois type of ranking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that they made that for me. Now, I ain't gonna say for me, but that basically was kind of like, I'm humble as hell. That basically is mine, so
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we know. That's real though.
I don't want to say like it's mine, like I've talked to them, that, but like, no, we had to have something in Central Illinois, because everything was Chicago Hoops or Rivals or Scout.com. So, when we had the basketball tournaments down at Carver, we had Chicago teams start coming down, and Mid-State Hoops was the one hosting it. So,
Right.
but people can see me in this area, because people in Central Illinois wasn't really seeing me because I was always playing in Chicago. So I still go down there and play with a team or something like that, and just
For sure.
take a
Yeah.
picture, show my face. I probably played once down there, and that was against Crandall Head, but I always came down there to show my face and
Mm-hmm.
fans sign autographs and stuff in high school. So
That's crazy. I can't even imagine that kind of lifestyle in high school, like in the way that you were able to handle that and like no, you didn't have any scandals or any bad news come out about you. Like you gotta pat yourself on the back for that because especially at that time, like you could do any little thing and it was gonna make news or it was gonna be somewhere. Like somebody was gonna say something, especially like I said, for you to be so high profile at that time, like that's incredible. So I'm so glad that you were able to clear up that high school story because like I said, I just saw the news article and I didn't get to talk to you directly. And that's crazy that it went down the way that you know that you're recanting it because like the way that they had you looking crazy in that article. And I was like, nah,
hey,
this can't be the truth. Like,
yeah, I mean it is.
I
What
was,
it is. I mean they gotta sell. I mean they gotta sell some type of story and say stuff. But I mean sometimes everything can't be good. You know, everything can't be good. Sometimes don't mean it's true, but sometimes people need to see like, oh, this, you know, if you hear it's too many goods about me that, you know, something got to be, you know,
it gotta be
said.
negative, yeah.
There got to be something in there. So I mean, that was just something that they can try to use to. I mean, I didn't want to say make me look bad, but I mean, he got to make his money and sell stories like this.
Yeah, essentially that's what it was. It was to make you look bad, and I was just like, man, like that's really crazy because at that particular time I had gotten to know you pretty well just from us being, you know what I'm saying, going to the same high school. We was, you know what I'm saying, I mean, around each other a lot in passing and things of that nature. And I'm like, that just don't seem like the guy that I know. Like that don't seem like him. So I'm so glad that you were able to clear that up because I know that that's something that a lot of people probably wondered about that, but because you're such a humble guy, low key, you never really spoke about it publicly. So it's good for, you know, people to kind of hear your side of things. So after that situation, you end up leaving Central. You go to Friendly Prep for your senior year. Now, how do you find Friendly Prep, and what was kind of the selling point on you choosing them to ride out your final year for high school?
So you know, having that team around me, you know, was already kind of hearing about different start putting out different prep school teams. Um One of them was in Maine and I think New Jersey, and I was just like, you know, I'm not gonna go way up to Maine. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
go up in that. It just didn't sound interesting. And I found out that DeAndre Liggins, he's a Chicago star. He actually played at where Kentucky. I think he's at Kentucky, DeAndre Liggins, but he went to that prep school first. He was from Chicago. He's like the number one player in the state of Illinois at the time. Before Iman Shumpert came out the blue and just became number one in that 2008 class, we 2009. But DeAndre Liggins left him prep school first, and at this time where he went, it was a 5th year players can play.
Okay.
So the next year after that, they changed Finley Prep into a straight high school team. Like you can't, it's no more 5th year players. That was the only way Nike to sponsor our team.
Got you.
So, talk to the coach and just the way how he presented himself. Knew that would be the best type of coach for me. I only had good coaches throughout my career, and just even when I was there, man, just before every game, I thought I was going to go kill a lion. That's how good his prep talk. That's how good his prep talk. Like, man, like this coach, man, Mike Peck. I love Mike Peck, and I still talk to him to today. Every time for every game, I feel like I was going to really go to war. Seriously.
That's
every
dope.
game. Yeah, every game, man. We went 33-0 that.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, that was one of those things. Like when you went to Philly, like I said, I followed you there too because you guys were making national news. Y'all were on ESPN. Y'all were ranked like nationally. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was following, and well, not everybody, but most people were following it and trying to support you in that journey. So what was the transition like from going from being DJ Richardson in Peoria, Illinois, to like you're the star, everybody knows your name, you're the top guy, to going to a team that is stacked with D1 talent and potential NBA talent, because you play with some NBA players at Finley Prep. So like how was that taking your role from being like pretty much a star player to now I'm just kind of a guy playing a role?
I mean, it was. I mean, it just kind of transitioned well because I still like throughout my whole career, even pro, I always been a guy that I never really took 20 shots a game as a shooting guard, and I still had good points, had good shooting percentages. I think me. I mean, we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel like if I did go to Richwoods or to a different school, I'll probably have I had a killer mentality, but I'll probably have more of a mumble mentality from being like, give the ball, shoot, go, score, go. I didn't really have the green light at Central to go shoot a bad shot and learn from it. Like I shot one bad shot one time, Coach caught a timeout and chewed me out the whole ring in Chicago. And it was just kind of like, it shouldn't be like that. But
Yeah.
I always been shooting 12 to 15 shots a game, but you got a lot of players that shoot 20 shots and 30 shots a game and get 30 points. So I probably shot 12 shots a game and to get 20-some points, that's a good value player. I was telling a guy like James Harden, he'll shoot like 30 shots, get 35 points. That's not really, I mean, he's a great player, but that's not, we want 30 points. We want him to shoot 30.
Yeah. Because that's an advantage for you at this point.
Yeah, so it transitioned over. Even though Avery was more ranked and was the most high ranked and volume player on our team. Personally, Victor Rudd was probably our best all around player. He was but we just all was able to put it together and win as a team, and that was the number one goal. It wasn't about who was the best, who scored the most. We locked in on defense. Corey Joseph, I still, hey, come to Memphis. As soon as Corey comes to Memphis, hey, we going to see Steph play. Where you at? My boy Corey Joseph, he got me tickets to the Detroit game. So as soon as he come here, hey, I need every game y'all play the Grizzlies. I ain't seen Steph play in person.
That's dope. So you play with Corey Joseph, you play with Avery Bradley, you play with Tristan Thompson. What was it like playing with those guys, and what are some things that you learned from them? Because you guys are all coming from different parts of the world at this particular point to come together for that 1 year to be a 33-0 team and to win the national championship that year. So like, what was that experience like?
Man, we lived in the same house, so it was like a brotherhood. We lived in a $500,000 house. Our whole team. Yeah, because our owner named Finley, his name was Finlay, and still to today own like 33 car dealerships.
Wow.
So he fell as well. So we had a $500,000 house that we lived in. Refrigerator stayed stocked with food. But just every day it was like a brotherhood, going to practice, going to class together. Our school wasn't big. We had about 60 students in the school. So sometimes it was 8 class or but every day practice was so competitive every single day. And having that type of coach that we had, he made sure that he gave our hard work we worked so hard. We'd have like condition the next day at 5 a.m. and coach would call one of the seniors and say, y'all stay asleep. Y'all worked hard yesterday. We're gonna take off of conditioning. And when coach do stuff like that, you gonna even go harder for him.
Yeah.
So, and something I learned from like just every day, we were just grinding. Like we grind together. We went at it every single day. Argued, got into it, pushed each other, all the trash talking. But we had to go back to the same house, so it was a brotherhood. So we just left it all out there on the court. And something that I learned from Corey, they from Toronto, him and Tristan from Toronto. Something funny. Something I learned off the court was, all right, so we went to where we go? I think we went to like Nordstrom or something like that. So we went shopping. It's gonna be pretty fun. So me being from little old Peoria, these guys from Toronto, had a guy from Atlanta, Tacoma, Washington. So I went in the dressing room, tried these jeans on, kind of see how they I see how they dress, and I'm dressing like I'm from Peoria. We still wear the baggy jeans, sometimes wearing the basketball shorts on our jeans. We ain't got a belt, So I come out the dressing room, I had on these jeans, they was fitted. They was real, they you know, they wasn't tight, but they was like kind of they was I was like, man, these jeans too little. I was like, man, them jeans right. I said, man, these jeans little. They're like, look, bro, I'm gonna keep real with you, man. Bro, you gotta stop putting basketball shorts on your jeans. But being from Illinois, where we from, that's what we did. So that's a style. So from that day on, that really took my whole style and drip, whatever, to a whole nother level. You know, I was confident in wearing fitted / skinny jeans. That's where it started at. Appreciate them guys.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's an amazing story. That is so funny. So, all right. So, wait, you're at Philly already. So, you going to Illinois is pretty much a sure shot at this point. Like, had you were already committed, or was it a situation where you had to like wait a certain time frame for as far as like your eligibility and stuff like that, or were you already like verbally and had signed the paper and everything like that?
Yeah, I was verbally committed already. I committed my junior year. They brought me down for Midnight Madness, so I went throughout my whole junior year. No, I think I committed in the middle of the season. Well, no, I committed before the. Yeah, I committed right after that Midnight Madness before the season started.
Okay.
That's on the way home. I called Coach McClain and said, Coach McClain, I want to commit to the University of Illinois, and my dad was like, "Dude, go take some visits. You ain't took a visit to not one college." And I went to Illinois my first time visiting. That was the school I wanted to go to. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't regret. Huh?
No, go ahead, finish.
I don't regret going to Illinois, but if I could have, I do not. I'll say I'm keep it raw. I'm being real. I don't regret going to Illinois. I don't regret nothing. But I won't take none back. But if I had to choose, I probably would have went to a different college.
Why do you say that? That's interesting that you say that now after everything. But what makes you kind of be in that mind frame? Like, why would you choose somewhere else?
My role. I don't think Illinois was a school that helped me reach my full potential at the time I needed to reach.
Okay.
I feel like if I would have went to a school that I was 6'3", and at this time, you know, basketball was changing. It wasn't no more 5'10" or 5 point guards or point guards now. John Livingston went in at what, 6'8". You got John Ross 6'4". You got taller point guards now, and you know, like I was saying, going back to me only shooting 12 shots a game. That also, if I'm gonna be 6'3" shooting guard, then that means I gotta be sitting here be a 30 baller. You know, so I gotta probably be getting 30 points a game if I'm gonna stay at the 2. But Illinois, going to Illinois, I don't think that helped me reach my full potential of my style of play. I was a shooter. I drove to, did a lot of different things at Illinois, but my main thing was shooting threes. And if you know my game in high school, I was a slasher, getting to the basket, playing fast break. And Illinois was more of a half court team, so it was more of a half court league. You know, ACC, I think that was more a place where I should have went. That's my game, somewhere in ACC. You know, nothing just fit my game better.
That's really interesting that you say that. Like I said, being that you did, you know, you went to Illinois, you had so much success and you had so many accomplishments, like especially your freshman year, being Big Ten Player of the Year. Like you had like so many things that you accomplished. So to hear you say that you still don't feel like you maximize your potential it's crazy because I'm like, I mean, from you, like I said, again, this is outside looking in. We're like, oh, he's doing it, he's going, he's off. But like in your mind, you're like, no, I had another year, and you just feel like maybe Illinois held you back from that additional gear that you feel like you had at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it did. I mean, I talked to Jamar Smith, me and Jamar, you know, keeping it raw. That's what we should call it. Keeping it raw.
Yeah, keeping it raw. All the way real.
My coach told me not to dribble. He told Jamar not to dribble as well. And us being 2 guards and, you know, needing to get to that next level, he told us not to dribble. Like, how you tell somebody not to dribble when I'm trying to go to the next level? It just was, I got to start getting the feeling that I wasn't getting the feel of you trying to help me get to the NBA. I started getting the feel of it's just for my system.
What works best for him, not for you.
Exactly. So that's the feeling I got from it, and that's how it was. Jamar the same way. Jamar was a killer, and Jamar really got that push when he, got in that situation, left Illinois and went to Southern Indiana. That gave Jamar that high school confidence back. That okay, I can just hoop. I can loosely hoop. I can play my game.
Yeah.
And coach got more confidence in me than me doing it. So I also will help Jamar. Yeah. So that helped Jamar too, being able to like even another brother I talk to all the time is my brother Kendrick Nunn.
Okay.
Huh?
No, but I'm with you.
Yeah, Kendrick Nunn always been the shooting guard at Simeon, because Jalen Tate, he played Illinois too, and they played at Simeon. And then Kendrick went to Oakland, where he had the ball in his hand. He was able to play loosely. So he never been a point guard. He went to Oakland and played, and now in the NBA playing point guard. Played point guard for the Lakers. So any advice I can give a young kid, go somewhere where you got a coach that don't have as much confidence in you or more confidence in you than you have. That's going to allow you to play. And it's not for everybody. I mean, when you top player in the state or top in the country, you're gonna go to a Division I college. You got a lot of players like that. Like probably was not gonna be able to shoot the shots he was shooting at Duke.
No, that's a really good point, because I feel like systems and coaches definitely have influence on the player's potential, and like as far as how they transition from college to the league, or from high school to college, and then beyond that, or even when players were going from high school to the league, like same thing. Like all of those things play a part, and I think that people don't really consider that or think about that when it comes to how we dissect players or give our opinion on players, because it's like you said, I mean, Steph Curry wasn't going to be able to shoot from half court at Duke or North Carolina or, or UConn. Like, but at Davidson, at a school where it's just like, we just need somebody to put us on the map. He got to be free. And I mean, look how it benefited him now in the league. Like he's doing, essentially doing the same thing, just at a more advanced level. So it's really like interesting to hear that perspective from you. So going from that as well, like you mentioned a couple guys that you played with and played against. You mentioned some names already. So who are some other the guys that you haven't mentioned already that you played against or played with at some point or got to know kind of in that journey of the Division I? Because you were in the era with some people, like I don't even think people realize that, like I didn't even realize until you told me last night. I'm like, man, damn, he's right. Like he really did play against some of these guys. So like, who are some of those people?
Draymond Green, that's one of my guys still. We had media day. And media day in college, you get like the best 2 or 3 best players off your team. And we all used to be in Chicago. So this when we do our media day, take pictures with the basketball with our shirts, suits and ties on. And like, so we come there the day before, the next morning we have our interview starting at 8 in the morning. So hotel or whatever, we just talk. It's me, Tim Hardaway Jr., Trey Bird, Trevor and what's his name from Minnesota, and Bakwe, I think. Draymond. What was with Draymond? Draymond had somebody else with him. Jordan Taylor from Wisconsin. All the best players in the Big Ten. So, like, man, we just sitting out here. We all, legal, like old enough to drink or whatever. He like, so the 2 biggest dudes, Draymond and what's his name? From Minnesota. The guy from Minnesota. So they went to the liquor store down the street. They come back with the biggest bottle of Grey Goose I've ever had in my life. This Grey Goose bottle was basically to my hip.
That's
I was like, what are y'all doing? But it was funny though, because it was like the biggest 2 dudes came back with the biggest bottle. I'm like, man, we get you a vibe. We in college you get the little cheap liquor, but these guys came back with the big
Grey
boy.
Goose. Yeah.
Man.
At that time, I was like, you getting Grey Goose, you doing something like.
So they came with the big boy bottle of Grey Goose, man. That's a great story though. But Draymond, I talked to Kendrick Steele, John Wall, Dimitri McHenry, Brandon Paul, when they came for the TBT tournament in Peoria, he came by my mom's house, and him, Dimitri, and I talked to Tracy Abrams the other day. He was now he's doing a good thing up in Chicago right now.
Dope.
So, those are some of the guys I probably keep in contact with the most. Probably John Wall, probably who I talk to the most. I talked to Corey Joseph as well.
Dope. So I want to last thing on the Illinois college experience. There's this one game, which I know you know exactly what game I'm talking about, that sticks out in my mind because the entire city and world was watching at this particular time. Indiana was the #1 team ranked in the country, a team that had Victor Oladipo on it as well. Shout out to him.
Talk to him still too.
Definitely shout out to him. But this was in Champaign, Illinois, at the crib. Like I said, this was a nationally televised game because I remember watching this game. And I remember us talking about it last night, and you started to laugh when I brought it up because I'm like, man, I was so hyped watching that game. Like, it was so crazy. Like, we'll get to the play at the end, but you told me something interesting that I need for you to tell the people, and like I need to know just the mindset because you went crazy that game. But what I didn't know is why you went crazy that game. So what happened prior to the game that put you in a different kind of energy, a different kind of mode? Because this is probably the most emotion I had ever seen out of you watching you play. So what happened? Tell it again. This is unfiltered, raw. DJ Richardson. Tell the folks what happened.
Hey, Indiana, Illinois. We always had a rival. We already had that rival. And before the game, they showed us like this little hype video. This little we gonna woo woo, and they always show this video of getting us hyped. Indiana versus Illinois for years rivalry. So we already go into the game knowing there's gonna be a fight every time. We don't know who's gonna win. Anybody, they can have the worst Indiana team, they still might win because that rivalry. But that game in particularly, I'm already hyped up. I had a good first half, and coach came with a good game plan. And halftime come, we had one tunnel, Indiana, and we all go to both teams go to the same tunnel. So we down there at halftime. Excuse my French, mama. Excuse my French, grandma.
Listen.
I love
we roll on this one.
He was talking. Will Sheehy was talking big shit in the tunnel at halftime. Big. So I'm like, okay, I'm finna bust your ass. Watch. And throughout my whole career, anybody can vouch. When somebody make me mad, I go totally off. I'm at my best, and it shouldn't take that, but that's what it took. And that's I came with a second half performance because he was talking shit in the middle of the tunnel. So
please watch the folks' second half performance because the second half performance, you were a different part. Like I said, you've always been good. Like you've always, like you've always been even killed. You gonna get to your spot, knock your shot down. But this was on when you talk about Kobe mentality. This is what you was that type of stuff that you was on. Like you was like, I got a point to prove to these people out here, and I'm gonna do that. So like. Is it one of those situations where you going off, or you just kind of like zone out and it's just like whatever happens, happens?
Well, we had a new coaching staff, and that's their first year. We was there longer than them. And when Coach Gross first got to the school, came to your body, Brandon Paul. Those are the two, it was the two teams. So he met with us, and just different. I got to really doing some different type of workouts. When we came into our workouts, it was more like 101 individual skills, and we working on what you need to work on. So a lot of the shots I was taking, like step backs and stuff like that, I wasn't really doing that with the first with my head coach, with Bruce Weber. This coach, these things that I was doing in the game was in my game, but I just wasn't,
You hadn't implemented it yet.
So just that, I just kind of just blacked out. I just really just went to the old me in that part of the game. It was the same way. I had another game like that too. I tried to be like I said, these first head coaches, wore some Jordans, had some Jordan 14s on, some the great baby blue 14s, came play Hawaii, played Hawaii, had 0 points in the first half. took them off at halftime, put on my Nikes, and scored 16 points in the second half and hit the game winner. So
Ooh.
that was another one too. That was another game where I feel like the second half I kind of blacked out. It wasn't no shit talking or nothing like that. Well, matter of fact, it was. It definitely was. It was Chicago doing their team's name with Brandon Spearman, but when people started talking shit to me, it just bring the best out of me. It just make me go hard.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah, you do. And speaking of game winners, because that particular game ended in a game winner. So walk us through the play, because I saw the play, like anybody who watched that game, we saw the play. There was a play called. It looked like it was for you. You were in the corner, clapping your hands. You were wide open, by the way, too, which is crazy because you had just scorched them prior to that. So I'm like, why are they leaving him wide open? If he's wide open, he's knocking that down. But you curl to the corner, you call for the ball, but they ended up there was it Brandon Paul that came through that scored the layup?
Brandon Paul was taking the ball out. Tyler Griffey was setting a double screen, so it's basically like a pick the pickers play. So somebody picked Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler picked for somebody, and then he picked for me. It's like picker, and I came off, was going to, matter of fact, I set the first screen. So I screened somebody like a big man. He go, and then Tyler set a screen for me. And they was more worried about me. Two people came to me. That's why Tyler went to the back, because they wasn't even worried about nobody else but me. And Tyler was wide open. So
literally. And I remember my being so mind blown watching that play unfold, because like I said, when I saw you curl off, and even you said they sent two people to you, but even with that, like before they got to you, you had a lot of time. So even if you had to be like a little quick option to get you the ball, you had enough time to get that shot off, which was crazy to me, because I'm like, he just was going crazy on y'all when y'all was guarding him one-on-one in his face. So you gonna leave this guy that much space, that much time? But he came down the lane. He's completely wide open, makes the layup. The crowd goes crazy. Obviously, they bum rush the court. What is the night like for y'all after that game? Because I can only imagine how crazy it possibly got after knocking off the number one ranked team in the country at that particular time.
I feel like Drake. Got a picture of Drake when he had all the bras back on the floor. Everywhere I went. Oh my God! Woo!
They was giving you the Mardi Gras treatment.
The Mardi Gras treatment everywhere I went. I probably saw a set of. I probably seen about 10 different ones that night, just at the bar.
That's crazy. That is insane. Like I said, I could only imagine what the hype was like, and what that felt like as a player, because like I said, I remember watching it and how the city was on fire. If they wasn't with you before that, they was with you then. Like everybody was a DJ Richardson fan at that time, because like I said, you had such a great game, and then y'all knocked off the number one seed. So look at the guy. Y'all knocked off the number one seed.
He been wanting some attention, so I got to put him in here for sure.
It's all good. But yeah, so that's insane. So that game happened. Was that your junior year or senior year when that game happened?
My senior year, when I had with Coach Gross.
Okay, so your senior year. So that's perfect. Let's segue into, because that year, after your senior year, you entered into the NBA draft. Now, what a lot of people don't know is something that you told me last night, is that you actually had NBA workouts, because I wasn't aware of that. Like, I just thought you entered yourself into the draft and that was kind of where the story ended. But you actually had workouts and went through that whole process. So what was kind of the NBA workout process like? And yeah, we'll just leave it right there. So what was that NBA like, working out and doing the pre-draft workouts? Like, what was that like?
I mean, it was fun. I had a bruised rotator cuff. Really affected my shoulder and my shooting. Went to the workout. First, I had a bad agent, and this can happen. And it give me, myself being, having a name, I got the workouts through having a name, and also, my agent got me in there, but really trying to put me on the market more. I ain't gonna say more than I was worth, I can kind of say that because
Yeah.
freshman out making 500,000. I mean, in the NBA, of course, but he was trying to basically get more out of me, get more from me than I was worth at the moment. This was Kevin Garnett, old agent. He was the one that got Kevin Garnett that big $21 million contract.
Gotcha.
So, you know, he got me to work out. I did pretty good. I shot bad in the workout because I had a bad shoulder.
Right.
So, you know, just to keep it honest with you, I mean, he got me, my first job was I went to Austria from you know, doing the workout. Take this before that. I never told this story. I know we on the pro, but in high school, college, you know, started going to work out with this guy. I went to Attack, which Grover, which is the trainer of Michael Jordan,
Dwayne Wade. Yeah.
Dwayne Wade. So, first time I went up there, you know, working out stuff, got a chance to meet and was on the team with Gilbert Arenas. And
nice. Okay.
Yeah, I met Gilbert. I met a lot of NBA players up there, and I was up at they put me through so much of a hard workout. My uncle picked me up, took me from the gym I lost 12 pounds in this workout in this day. I lost 12 pounds.
In one day?
One day. Guess what happened? I caught one cramp. Chicago traffic bad. We all know
terrible.
That. Cramp. I got a cramp. Ooh, you know, like I caught one. So I started moving, trying to get this cramp out. Guess what happened? I caught a cramp in another place. So it was so bad, my uncle had to pull over to the side out the traffic, and he was punching and beating, trying to beat. Every time one cramp, I had like at least 5 or 6 cramps in my body at one time that was locking up. So I had to sit in the back of his car, just me and him. I had to just sit back with my back against the window and sit up. And
that's crazy.
Gilbert Arenas, played on the team with him. I worked out at Attack, but you know, just going back to the pro. I played in Austria, which was crazy. Like my agent went from this situation to me being a replacement player. So a guy got hurt, and I went there for 2 months. And this same team won a championship that year, which I can also say that I was part of that team, championship team. Yeah. So really, two dubs.
2 dubs.
So went there, played well, and you know, after those like 2.5 months, I came back. Said I was done with that agent. So this coach contacted me from Finland. He was like, "Hey man, we really like you. And the third, we want you to be our point guard." I said, I'm not a point guard, but I'm gonna take this job.
But why not? Yeah, why not? You know,
I'm not a point guard, but I'm gonna take I need to be point.
I know it needs to be done.
Yeah, I know it needs to be done. So I get out there, play the point guard, and just put like this. This is one of the worst teams in that league, but I still was able to showcase my skills. So I'm got me playing point guard. I wasn't really playing too well, and then the coach had this one conversation with me, and our assistant coach, the one that hit me up, the black dude name, he said, "Look, man," he said, "I need to take you out. I need to go. I need to show you something." He took me to one of the biggest cities out there. It's called like Tampere. There, he's like, because he DJ outside of him coaching. He took me to the party. Went up there, kicked it, had a good time.
Had some fun.
So had some fun. Had a real good time. After that, that was DJ Richardson. It was
okay.
It took me to go out and have some fun and just clear my mind because you know the coach was like mad about me and not mad about me. He was just, you know, me playing point. I wasn't a point guard, so I never really came. So, you know, this other guy, we just was sharing point guard. He go play this guy named Paul Carter, which is like my brother too. So after that, I started having 20-point games, 30-point games, and the coach wasn't. This probably was one of the worst coaches I ever had. He was in practice time, teach us how to hurt players and when he shoot, go to shoot and you go to box out, just back your heels up. I'm like, the coach wasn't a good.
Like, this is not what I learned, sir. This is not what I learned.
So he wasn't a good coach. And I left this team. And I went to came back to Peoria. And after a month, like within a month, a coach from that same league called me and said, "Hey, we want you to come play on our team," which was Kovo. And
so let's pause there for a second. Let's I want to dial back before we get into like the overseas stuff. So we talked about the NBA workout, how the agent pretty much essentially didn't have your best interest. Why, other than that, why don't you think that situation worked out? And if you could too, because I know that, like I said, this is something that we talked about yesterday. You talked really heavy about politics and like, especially in the NBA and how those kind of situations work. So I really want you to like, especially for young players who might be watching this, who have that same dream that you had, that, you know, wanted to make it to the league, like kind of dive into that a little bit and, you know, pretty much tell your story, like what you went through.
I mean, I was hurt. I had a bad shoulder, so that kind of put a toll on the workouts. And when you go to these workouts, you gotta, you gotta make like 7 out of 10 ain't good enough. And like, you know, they want 8 out of 10s and 9 out of 10s and 10 out of 10s.
Right.
And you also shooting from what, maybe a whole foot or 2.5 back from where you normally shooting threes from, and doing pull-ups at the college three. So, you know, it's hard to really do that when you got a bad shoulder. I mean, if I had like a different injury or something like that, it probably would have been different because I never got injured. I'm a type of player that plays through injuries.
Yeah.
In college, I got a lot of shots to play. A lot of shots. They give you a little cortisone shot in your butt, and I feel like I can
play like that. Fired you up.
And not to get off the topic, but that was something that shows how much of a team player I was. It wasn't about stats at Illinois. I wasn't like, okay, I'm not going to play because I can't get my 20 points on average. It's going to tear my average up. I still game knowing that I can bring value to the team by still defending the best every night. But it was embarrassing. I won't say embarrassing, but I had a cast on my hand when Brandon Paul had 43 points against Ohio State. I had fracture. And I still was out there, and they was like, leave him open. Coach McLean like, DJ, shoot the ball. DJ, shoot the ball. We're going to hit the other side of the rim, coach.
Yeah. Like, I don't have it. So like, I can't even flick my wrist right now.
Right. But, you know, the NBA thing, I mean, it all turned out, I mean, as God planned. Like, you know, if I didn't make it, I know I was good enough. I mean, especially how coming out of high school. If I would came out of high school, I probably would have for sure been in the NBA. Absolutely. But just with those 4 years of college, well, 3 of those 4 years, you know, I lost a lot of confidence even in ball handling because, you know, what your coach tell you.
Not to dribble,
dribble the ball. Stop dribbling. And I'm not even a player that did that boom, 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 boom. He just didn't want me.
You needed a lot of dribbles to get to your spot. So that's strange that he would even encourage you or discourage you, I'm sorry, from even doing the little bare, like, I mean, not, you know, but you know what I mean? Like, as far as like getting your couple dribbles just to get your shot off, like, that's crazy to me that he would tell you that. Because you always had a good handle. Like, you wasn't a high turnover machine or nothing like that. So that's crazy.
Yeah, so it was, I mean, like I said, God, you know, it was just could have made a better decision of choosing the college. You know,
what advice would you give young kids coming up, like trying to choose colleges that are in your same shoes? That, like, is there something, and I guess within that process that maybe you would have thought or that you think you should have done different? Like, you know, maybe going on more visits or talking to more coaches. Like, do you think you kind of closed yourself off, and, you know, that maybe why kind of things went the way that they went?
Yeah, I did. I think I should have took more visits and made a better decision of system. I think I could have went somewhere that was more for my gameplay. Not. I I never did it to like just, I want to satisfy Peoria or I want to satisfy anything like that.
Yeah.
Of course, I love my city, but it was just more that I knew guys on the team already, like Dimitri. We already had chemistry and but it was just like I said, it was just a bad decision. Could have just make sure. And for me telling kids is like nowadays it's different. When I when I was in college and high school and going to these visits or go to these schools, coaches coaches couldn't even be in the gym to watch their own players in the summertime.
Wow.
Or the coaches can get in trouble for that. They couldn't even see their so nowadays kids can get worked out by colleges and colleges can see it
different.
Yeah. So now just my thing to anybody that's going into college, make sure that it's the place for you, and make sure that you comfortable with the team, with the coach, with the style of play. Put yourself in that type of player's shoes. Okay, how did this coach go to some practices? Go out some practices. Get a weekend, ask the coach, hey, I want to come down and see some practices and see, see how he pushes players. See, okay, I like how he talked to him. And that's one thing. You just gotta just weigh out your options and just see if that coach and that program is for you. Not just because everybody wants you to go there or that's the biggest name school that you got recruiting you.
Yeah, that's really good advice too. Because like I said, I feel like a lot of the time, a lot of these kids, and just like you, I mean, your situation that you had, like they're misled in what they think college is going to be or what they think, their role on the team is going to be until they get there. Then it's like, I'm not really happy in this role, or I'm not really, maximizing my potential, like you said, and losing confidence. Like that's to even know that, and like I said, to see you as a spectator, just watching you from afar, I would have never known that was something that mentally you were going through. But you still pushed and overcame. So the NBA thing didn't pan out the way that you wanted it to, obviously, but you did get other opportunities, which you spoke about going overseas. So talk about your first overseas team and like what that was like adjusting from being in Illinois pretty much all your life, and obviously outside of the year that you went to Finley and you were in Las Vegas, but going from that to being in a completely different country, they speak a completely different language, the food is probably different, everything's probably different. Like, what is that experience for you? Like, what is that like?
First, I went to a small town, real small town, maybe like 20,000 people. So that was different. They didn't speak English. The grocery store, the money different. Just
Was that your first time out of the country?
No, because we went out the country for Illinois. We went to Italy.
Gotcha. I say that. Okay.
Yeah, so we went to Italy. So it was I wasn't that in depth because that's more like you living here now. Like we went there for like 11 days here, and I'm living there. I got an apartment. It was furnished. They paid my car. Only thing I paid for is food at my house. It was just different. You go to the store or restaurant, order something, you got to point to it. This, what's this?
Yeah.
Google Translation with my best friend overseas. I was looking at apps. I even had to buy some apps to tell me like take a picture of it and translate it to English. Like, but some stores that you go to overseas, they had like American Al, which is all American products in there.
So,
that was something that was cool. And just my first years when I went over there, it was like I was in when I was in Finland. It was a good experience. Like I told you about the situation when I left that team, and then I went to Kovo, and coach was like, "Hey, we really want you." And when the coach told me they really wanted me and stuff, I was already back at home, and then I came back like I think like March, so I was there for like a month. Playoffs started.
Gotcha.
Came there. Like, hey, I ain't that type of coach to just throw you in the fire. I want you to learn my system. This is the best system I ever played in.
Wow.
The best one.
And why do you say that? Like, what what made you in your mind to this day to be like that was the best version of me essentially that I got to play in that system?
That brought the DJ Richardson back. That year, playing with this coach brought, because it was a spaced out floor. It was a 4-out offense. Well, it was like 4-out motion. That was our whole setup. The guards, it'll the guard get it. If another guard get it, the other two run to the corners. And when y'all run to the corners, the first big man go to the rim, and then the other one stay at the top. So if the point guard throw the ball up the floor, he cuts to the other side of the corner. You throw it to the big man up top, the top guard go back door. It was so much spacing and movement. So against teams' defense, so if as the ball moving, the defense is shifting. And ball move around, and if that guy goes back door or cut through, and the guy throw you the ball, you got a whole option of a 1-on-1 guy on an island. If a guy got to close out on you and you don't beat him, then basically defeating the purpose of the whole offense. And a guy was closing out on me, I can either shoot or drive.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and that put me in a position to put him in straight ISO
blender, barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken. So this was the first time I had flashes of that Indiana game, and like my fourth quarters just like
you had the ultimate green light.
I had the ultimate green light. Like, it was a time where I scored 24 points in 21 minutes in the game.
Wow.
And that's half of the game. I only played half of the game, and I scored 24 points in 21 minutes. And it was time in the game where I scored like 18 of our last points in the game in the fourth quarter. This coach was he's like, hey, I want you to come back for next year, because I only did 3 months with the team towards the end of the year.
Right.
Like, look, man, you come back, you're gonna be the best player in this league. This and that, and the third. Came back, best player in the league, finals MVP. Finals MVP, won a championship. And I had some moments that year that were just unbelievable. It was just that was probably my favorite year overseas, and I just, coach put me in a good position. Coach year. Yeah.
So how long did you end up playing overseas?
Played 6 years and was with how many teams? 9. I went from there and went to Belgium, got paid more, of course. Like, that's how it goes. You basically want to build your resume. Same thing will work. You work, have a good season. After you have a good season, you want to build your resume, go get paid more. So went to a better team after that year, went to Belgium. And in Belgium, they paid me more, and we was a traveling team. So this was the first year of the Champions League. And now you got players like Mario Chalmers playing in the Champions League. And I had a great year. You got Mario Chalmers, Amari Stoudemire played in the Champions League.
Wow.
Who else played in the Champions League? Jamar was more of the Euro League. So it's different. You got the FIBA Cup, you got Champions League, FIBA Cup, Champions League, Euro Cup. Euro is 4 leagues. Euro League teams, the teams is paying people millions. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. Okay. Okay. Big bag.
So, went on this team, traveled, played good, left Belgium, had an outstanding year there. Went to Germany. This one, getting paid more. A lot of people might not like this, but everybody got their flaws. But shout out to President Trump for what he did for me.
Fair enough.
Look,
love is love either way, however it comes.
At this time, the euro was so much more. I ain't gonna say so much more, but I only sent my money back to my American account when the currency was, the difference was like, so say if you got $1 American, and then I got say if I got 100, I got $1.30 of euros, and you got $1. So I will that difference in between those cents is like we can't change that money because you still gonna have to owe me something.
Right.
I will wait my money back home when that currency would be at a good thing. Because when Trump was in there, the dollar was going down, and then I would send money when the dollar was down. It can turn some like the amount I was getting. Sometimes it can convert over to a whole extra 1,000.
Wow.
Or like 1,500 more. So I was waiting at certain time to get my money back. So thank you, Trump, for that. And jerk.
Hey man, like I said, you gotta give the love. So all right, so you talked about a lot of those things. So I have to ask you, like I said, this is unfiltered, this is raw, you're my brother, so I gotta ask you as a sister to a brother, I need the real, I need you to break this down completely because you played over there for 6 years and it seemed like you said, everything was going well, you playing great, you were playing in a great system, and then abruptly it just stopped and you weren't overseas anymore and you were back home. And nobody really knows exactly what happened or why that situation went the way that it went. So after 6 years, what happened? Like, why did it just everything just kind of come to a halt? Like, what happened?
Let's get raw.
Let's get raw, uncut, unfiltered. Let's do it. Come on, man.
We finna shut up. Hold up. We gotta take a shot to this because this. Hey, cheers, sis.
My guy. Yes, my brother.
All right, so so played in Germany. I played. I think my last year was after that because I left Germany and went to Poland. In Germany, I came to this team and then I had caught an injury in the preseason before the season started, and never in my career I never came off the bench for nobody. So this was when I was saying like these coaches out here, Germany is one of the top leagues in the world. This is like, and my coach was Dirk Nowitzki coach for for like the Germany teams. This coach was top level. Man, we doing all type of stuff. This coach was real good, but it was politics involved. So, and I'm coming to one game, I play like 20 minutes. Next game, I played 3.
Wow.
Something I was never used to, and I just couldn't play like that. Like not knowing when I'm gonna play or not knowing when I'm gonna get in the game. And coming from a good season that I just had in Belgium, I wasn't expecting to come to a team and be treated like the situation.
Right.
So that's where I started mentally like, man, and this and that third. I'm still going hard in practice. I'm not letting what I'm going through to my teammates. I don't let nothing that I got going through in life affect the next person next to me. Only person I talk to is my agent. He was the only person that knows the field, and my mom. That's who I was.
Yeah.
And like, man, we gotta make a change. It's not, this and that and third. And it wasn't about the money. I want to play. This was, like I said, this is the most I was getting paid a month or whole year. Left there, went to Poland and go to this team. Normally, when you get to a team, you get your car maybe the next day or 2 days after. And it took me a month to get a car. I said, look, I can't drive a stick shift. I can't drive. I need an automatic.
Right.
This team money too, but they had some good decent money, but the organization was bad. Not knowing this, I'm talking to a guy from Chicago named AJ Johnson. He's a very good point guard, well known. Man, come over here, play with me. We'll this and third. I get there. Took me a month and a half, about a month to get my car.
Gotcha.
And besides me getting my car, it took them a month and a half for me to get paid. So my money's still not here. It's not hitting my account until I see green in my account. Y'all never see money.
Yeah.
So I had a money situation with them, and it's just like, okay, I went from the situation from Germany, go to Poland. Y'all not paying me, and then y'all finally paid me. I get the plan, and then that kind of was like a bad situation with y'all not paying me, and I left there, left Poland and went to Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Greece. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to Greece. They like, okay, we got three Americans, and they had like I said, look, we got 90,000. Y'all all can get 30,000 a piece for 3 months. I said, okay, cool. I'll definitely do that. Going to the summer with $30,000. I was not trying to, lead a team that I was at and go from like February or something like that all the way to August to get paid again.
Right.
Everybody want to go into the summer, having their money. Go to this team in Greece. This is when this conversation right here finna get real.
Okay, that's it. Unfiltered, raw. Let's do it. This is what you say you want to do. Let's do it.
The owner put it like this. The owner of the team, he left. The owner left. The owner and his sponsors left. They the one that's putting the money into the thing. But the president was the one signing his name on everything.
Wow.
So president got from the soccer team and the community to give to us. He was paying off stuff that our living, our taxes, because if he didn't pay these taxes, he was gonna go to prison.
Wow.
So get to this team. This guy found out one thing. This guy haven't paid players in 5 months. This guy come to me and try to offer me $1,500. He said, "Hey, would you just take $1,500?" And I was no, hell no, I'm not taking $100. So this man, guess what this guy? I mean, hey, I ain't gonna lie. I understand you now, brother. I understand you now. This guy was sitting here betting on our team to lose, paying the refs, going to these betting apps, betting sites, and freaking putting money against us.
Oh my God. I need like a bottom job or something, because that's crazy. I can't even imagine that. Like, this is the president that's doing this?
The president, because he don't have the money.
Oh wow. So he's trying to get the money back, but essentially from you guys losing, from like him making bets on y'all losing, him talking to the refs. He's essentially banking on getting that money back that way, like for y'all to lose.
I don't blame you, brother. At the time, being in myself in those shoes that I was in, I'm mad. Yeah, I'm mad. Where my money at? But in his shoes, I'm not going to prison. I'm not going to prison.
That is
crazy. No, you going to prison for somebody the owner left? No, I'm not going to prison.
That's such a conundrum to be in. Like, either you pay this money back or you go to jail, but you got to bet for your team to lose. Like, that's insane. Like, I can't even fathom that. But I get what you're saying, how you break it down. It makes sense on his behalf, but to be in that situation, bro, what the fuck? Like, what is that?
And then this is gonna make it crazier. I'm done playing. I can talk about it. My teammate came out of my room and said, "Look, man, y'all go in the game, y'all get y'all points, y'all get y'all stats,
right?
But we gotta lose this game by 13 points."
Wow. So you're getting a parlay essentially prior to the game. Like, we need to lose by this amount of points. But lose about this much, lose by this much because of everything that's riding on this. If we win, bad shit is gonna happen. Like, that is the craziest shit I've ever heard.
Because I mean, you can go put up right now. You can be like, "Oh, if we know we're gonna lose by more than 13, I'll go put up." And when you take a whole team there, I'll go put up everything I got in the bank.
Wow, bro, this is mind blowing. Like, what in the fuck?
Like, I'll put everything I got in the bank. We finna lose by 13. But the captain of the team, this is funny. The captain of the team, he made it too obvious though. Oh my God, we laughed and cried about this.
No, what?
Man, people come down the court on fast. This man moving out the way like this. It was funny, but this what made basketball look.
Like I would have had to laugh. Like what?
And the coach on the sideline like, "What are you doing?" Like, you know, what are you doing? And I'm like, "Oh man."
And so was the coach in on it too? Like he knew that was no.
I don't think
the coach my God, yo, what? See, this is the type of stuff that needs to be talked about because so many players go overseas or have the idea of like, I'm gonna go overseas and play and build my resume essentially, like you said. But these are the things, like it's even politics in the overseas world. Like it's politics in the NBA, it's politics overseas. Like you don't escape the politics no matter what. Like, and that's just. I mean, we all know there's betting in sports. We all know there's parlays and things of that nature. But to hear it like that is insane to me. Like I would have never thought that that's something that actually happened.
So not for real. So from me going from Germany, going to a little politics situation, not playing and stuff, and then me going from there to Poland, not getting paid, and then me going to Greece and going to this situation, it just started kind of trickling down my love of the game. Like it was bigger than
that
basketball.
has to eat at your integrity, right? Like as a competitor, that has to eat at your integrity. Like I don't play basketball for this. Like to lose on purpose. Like if you beat me, you was the better man that day. Okay, cool. I'll take that L. But to purposely not play my best, like how you can't even mentally trick yourself into that. You know what I mean? Like I can't even imagine being like having to or learning how to accept being okay with losing because I'm benefiting somebody else. Which like I said, you explained it, I get why he did it, but at the same time, like that competitor in you had to be like, no, this ain't right.
And my mom was like, "Man, you changing. Like you changing." She like you ain't the same. You ain't the same you right now. And it was because basketball wasn't about money, but it was just the fact that if I'm putting all my heart into this after practice, in practice and after practice watching film, trying to better y'all not meet me halfway, then it's just I start losing like a lot of love and heart for the game.
Yeah.
It kind of because basketball, that's my wife. That basketball, that's my wife.
Yeah.
That wife that I done had since I done came out my mom, she gave me the ball when I came out. I had a ball. And that wife was cheating on me.
Essentially, that's the equivalent, right? Yeah, I can't imagine that. That's crazy to me. So going from all of that, like you said, it kind of started to build up and you just kind of lost the love. But so after that, once that season is over and you kind of wrap up with that, like, do you go back home? Do you stay and try to find another team? Like, what was kind of your plan of action after that?
My last team was France, and this was it for me. Went to a team, did everything for this team. I went to a team where point guard, shooting guard, scoring all the points, guarding the best player. Just when I was in France and talking about my every day, this guy. So I get hurt, and I went up for a shot, came down. My back was done. Went to the back. Medical people for the other team was on the road, tried to help me and all this type of stuff. They said, "No, he can't play. He's done." It's right before I came home back to Peoria, because I get 2 flights. I get 2 flights in my contract. I get one that I come there, and then that flight takes me back home. And then I get another one, go home during like the Christmas time. But the game was. So we went home. I come back. I'm telling my trainer, our physio guy, like, "Look, man, my back is tore up. Come back. These guys like, I see the doctor as soon as I get back. The doctor had to like touch my toes and see what I can do. Did the scan trying on my back and everything. Our team doctor told me, you're good. You're good to practice."
Sir.
What? So I stood up. So like me, throughout my whole life, I look at doctors as highly people, professional people, and
supposed to be.
Yeah, for sure. So I stood up and excuse my French, mama, grandma, I gotta say this.
So sorry.
Hey, so sorry. I said, look, you got me fucked up if you think I'm gonna go out there and play and I can really even stand up by myself.
And he can see, so you're doing this in front of him, so he can see you doing this, where you're struggling to stand up.
So I said, until I see a real doctor, I said, until I see a real doctor, I'm not touching the practice or I'm not touching the game. I went to the hospital and I seen the doctor. This man said, check me. You know, he French, checkmate. I was like, what you mean, checkmate? He's like, I found it. He said, you got 2 pinched nerves and a slip disc in your back.
Wow.
And they were trying to get me to go out there and play.
Come and play.
So I had bad energy and from that day on, I couldn't even look at the owner of the team. Because he was telling me to go out there and play. He ain't hurt. Just imagine every day going to work and walking past your boss and treating him like a ghost.
Man.
And he can't do nothing because you the one scoring all the points. You the one the best player on the team, best player in the league. So after this, man, it was just like I was so mentally frustrated with basketball. I just need to I was gonna go back and then COVID hit, and like I said, we got something else to talk about. What happened back at home?
Yeah, we do. We got, because again, this is you, my brother. So I got to get the real from you, like, and this is what this platform is for you to be able to tell your story in your own words. It's outside of what people have heard or how they try to misconstrue it or say it. So something else happened. COVID happened, but there's something else happened that also prevented you from continuing your career. And I want you, like I said, to give it to us raw and how it happened. Like, what is the situation that, but outside of COVID, that hindered you from going back and continuing your overseas career? You gotta tell the people, want to know. This is stuff that people don't know. You ain't never spoke about this, and you chose my platform to do it, which I am thankful. So please, like I said, be completely honest. What happened?
Come to find out, I'm waiting for a good team because teams wasn't gonna pay a good amount because a lot of teams get paid off of they get paid off of fans coming to games, ticket sales, and but with COVID, like I wasn't just gonna take anything.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I kind of waited it out. November, I think it was November, in the car with my friends, and we wasn't smoking in the car, but the car smelled like marijuana.
Gotcha.
And me, I had my firearm with me. I had I got my license. I got my FOID card for gotcha. My fire registered in my name. Police pulled us over or whatever. You smell that in the car. You got like I said, I'm not a smoker. We smelled that in the car, and I like him out. But he smelled that in the car. Yeah. Smelled that in the car, so that gave them the reason to search the car. Absolutely. Me being myself, I mean, I'm pretty sure that all FOID card holders carry their gun with the clip in it and not in the glove compartment and hand reach distance. Gotcha. So I'm wrong for not carrying it right. It's legal rights of, but I was carrying it wrong. And I had the clip in there. And I had one in the head, but the safety was off. So they and this and that third, they took me to jail. And I just kind of, I just kind of feel I had already, as soon as the police got behind us, I already said, like, I just feel like I'm gonna go to jail. Yeah, like it didn't feel right. I just feeling already. I just like, man, I just know I ain't do nothing wrong, but I just know I'm gonna go to jail. Somehow. I was like, I just feel like this is gonna be part of my story. I literally did. I thought I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna go to jail. That's and they, this is the craziest thing. I guess I don't know if the police officer was a fan of me or whatever, but the motherfucker put me in the front seat.
What? Wait, time out. You rode to jail in the front seat of a police car?
I put everything I love. I rode to jail in the front seat.
Wow. What? In the front seat?
In the front seat of the police car.
Were you handcuffed in the front seat?
handcuffed in the front seat.
That is wild.
That is wild. Police officer was a fan. He had to be a fan.
Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, I've never heard of somebody riding in the front seat going to jail. Never. Like, it had to be. What?
Rode in the front seat going to jail. And did 72 hours. Did a good 72. You know, so went to court. And this is the craziest thing is when I went to court, one of the attorneys was like, you know, came over and talked to me. I had 2 court dates. Came over and talked to me. He was like, he said this, what did he say to me? He said something. He said, well, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'll be back. I'll take care of it for you. And he walked halfway to the judge and came back. He said, by the way, I was a big fan of yours when you played at Illinois. I said, God, I said, you ain't have to tell me that right now, but
you got some time to tell me you was a fan of me, bro.
But and the attorney, so he came back. So it's like, look, you don't have to do no community service. I couldn't leave the country, and I was on probation for 2 years. So that's why I was silent, wasn't really saying much, low key behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Not doing it because I started doing, you know, did my basketball camp, start training kids, and this is part of you know, and a lot of people. I mean, like you said about Journal Star putting that article out.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Journal Star and the people in Peoria, because being a good person takes you a long way. Because they could have that person to any of these people or talking bad. They could have knew DJ Richardson got caught with a gun or this and that and the third got locked up. They could have easily blew it up.
Put that out, yeah.
They didn't. So shouts out to Journal Star. You know, did my 2 years of probation, which was hard because like a lot of people didn't really want to wasn't reaching out to do business. And I think the only one that did was before that happened. And I did had a contract with Dunkin' Donuts. And I did, I remember that endorsement deal with them.
So I want to, because I feel like Journal Star kind of owed you that. Just because the first article they put about, well, that wasn't the first article. They put up many articles about you, but that particular one that we spoke about, like, it was so foul and so vague and didn't really tell the complete story. So the fact that they protected you that time, I feel like that's one of the ones like they kind of owed you. But to know your status and know that you know, you had this big case that you had to go through and be on probation for 2 years and like all those things that you went through, like, how did that situation change you going forward? Because that's got to put you in a different mind state at that point, because now it's not about DJ Richardson, the basketball player. Now it's about DJ Richardson, the man, the person, like outside of hooping. Like, you had to be somebody else outside of that because you didn't really have the access of being a hooper at that particular time. So how did that change you?
My circle, my mom, really, my dad. I just had to stay down until I came up. You know, you just all you can do. I'm a silent person, and I suffer in silence, and that's why I'm glad I'm here. A lot of stuff I went through that a lot of people don't know, because I don't put social media. I don't really talk. Because at the end of the day, people don't really care. They just there for
something to talk about.
And I also didn't want to put it out there like that because, like I said, I don't put certain stuff on my Facebook because I got a lot of business owners, got a lot of professional people that follow me on there, and professional person, I'm a professional, so I'm gonna keep my page and everything I do professional. I don't even curse on my social media. You probably can't pull up one time on my Facebook, Instagram, anything where you see me cursing, because I know kids that look up to me, a lot of kids that follow me, and I just want to just be professional. You know, even with me start rapping, you know, I still don't put my rapping as who I am as a person. Who I am as myself every day on my social media.
So. Absolutely. So after that, going through that, what's life like for DJ Richardson after not being able to Like, because essentially you stopped playing basketball professionally after that. Like that was pretty much your last stint right before everything happened. So what's life like after that, and how do you kind of rebuild yourself back up? Because like you said, you had to suffer in silence well, you didn't have to, but you chose to suffer in silence for a long time. So like, what are the steps that you took to kind of prep yourself back up?
Hey, as you said that, I feel like I ain't gonna say I had to. I could have went to a therapist or something, but I do have a therapist now I talk to. But as men, I just feel like, okay, we can go vent to anybody we want to. We can vent all we want, but at the end of the day, we gotta look in the mirror. We gotta make it happen.
For sure.
So that's what I more mean by suffering silence. Like I can sit here and talk to somebody for 2 hours or a whole day about my problems, but who gonna change those problems?
Right.
I'm the only one. So, that's why a lot of stuff I go through, I suffer in silence and I do it on my own because I just gotta look in the mirror and do it myself. It took me a long time to heal from that. It took me a long time. I went through some other life stuff. Dealing with after that, had some kids and stuff like that. My baby, you know what I'm saying? So that brought a lot of joy to my life. Knowing that I got to live for and knowing that they got bigger shoes to fill than I had. My life after that, went to Landmark, did a camp, just bettered myself. I was hurt. Just basketball hurt me. That life is like it's cheated on me. So So I just was quiet and just wasn't myself for a little while, and glad to be back at myself. I'm feeling good and blessed. I read. I'm reading. I talked to my brother too, Montana 300. He sold. He shouts out to my boy Montana 300. Also, besides that, shouts out to my cousin, Landis Farmer.
Let him know.
I put the shirt on just.
Oh, just for this. Oh no. Oh, I think we lost him. Hold on, let's see if we can get him back here. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second, y'all. We gotta get him back. Let me see. Oh, I hope we didn't lose him all the way. Hold on. All right, we are back. We are back. We gotta wait for our brother to connect real quick. All right, connected to the audio. Okay, so we back.
My phone had died, but yeah, shout out to my boy Landis Farmer.
Yes, indeed. Make sure y'all definitely support all things Illinois, man. We got a lot of entrepreneurs coming out the city right now doing great things. So definitely glad that you wore that for the show today and highlighted that. So you said you started back at Landmark. You were training kids. So from there, kind of like, where did you go from there? Like, what was the next step that you took to kind of, like I said, kind of rebuild yourself? At that particular point.
I went to so getting this legal trouble. I seen people seeing it and seen people sharing it and all that type of stuff. But like I said, that type of stuff don't bother me at all. Like I said, sometimes when it's so good, You need some negatives
You
to follow
need
in that
something,
story.
yeah. That's so crazy to me because I never saw anything or heard anything about you going to jail. Until literally we talked last night. I was like, wait, what? You went to jail? Like what's going on? So that's crazy. But I mean, yeah. So like, what was after Landmark? Kind of like, where did you go from there?
So once that whole super process, it just made me want to even give back more, you know. So that's why I want to go to coaching. I went to coaching, and I did. I went to East Peoria for a year, and me getting that experience to try to like give back as much as I could. You know, being there for kids, coming there about six in the morning, get shots up, and hours before school started. You know, giving my time to guys. It really just, you know, giving back. You know, it didn't just have to be Peoria.
Yeah.
I just, you know, did it for the East Peoria matters too. I mean, that's part of Peoria as well.
Yeah, yeah, it's part of the city.
Like that was kind of the best situation for me at that moment. But I mean, it was all love though. You know, I did that for the city. I did that for trying to help people. I mean, a lot of players in Peoria don't get playing time, or East Peoria players not as good as Peoria. So maybe if you wanted to transfer over here, you know, got a lot of connections.
I mean, and I'm great. That's great that you did that and that you took time to, like you said, work with those kids and kind of give that influence because you've been where they're trying to go or just, you know, that you can guide them in that way. Now, beyond that, beyond the Landmark and the East Peoria situation, after that, like, I know you got, you know what I'm saying, you got some music, you rapping and doing that stuff. Like, how did you get into that particular part of your career and transition from hooping to rap? Like, has rap always kind of been something you wanted to do? Like, you used to practice at it, or is this something that's new? Like, how did you end up getting into the music scene?
So when I was in Finland back in about 2014, 15, I bought my MacBook. That was the first MacBook I bought. I was like, okay, I need to start making some money some other type of ways, but I also always loved music. And at this moment, I wasn't that good at music, but I just brought all the microphones and everything and all that, and you know, started messing with it for a while. Started meeting people that was in the music business. Was able to be with Big Head, the producer. Like, you know, he's the one that did Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang.
Yeah, okay.
Just being around them and just hearing them, like, you know, rapping and freestyling them, and they telling you that you can, like, bro, I like your flow and all this type of stuff. It just give you more confidence. It's just like if you go, you know, start shooting around in front of Michael Jordan, and he's like, hey, bro, you got some good game on you.
Yeah, yeah. That's gonna make you be like, all right, well, maybe I need to take this serious a little bit.
No, for real. So, no, I got shouts out to my boy again, Montana 300.
Yeah,
I still get paid every month from the song we did together, which is,
that's
you know,
fire.
That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to put a little bug in his ear because I know he's a sports fan, so I need you to highlight him for me.
Yeah, he'll do it too. He'll do it. Hey, he gonna do it.
Solid, Montana.
Hey, that's my brother, so he gonna do it because I tell him to do it. And I ain't saying like that. He gonna do it because that's my brother, man. That's my brother. He gonna jump on the podcast. I'm gonna get him on the podcast.
He's a Rob fan too, so we right there. So I my boy on the show.
I just talked to Montana when I thought. See, Montana, out of all the famous friends I have, Montana is probably the one I talk to the most.
Yeah.
And we're on the phone for hours, talk about basketball, talk about, you know, me, you know, I talk to his son too, giving his son pointers, giving his son.
Which is fire because both his sons play basketball, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know like the older son is like, he's kind of like starting to get on the radar a bit as far as like, you know, who kind of like the same trajectory that you had when you were around that age. So what's some tips that you give him, like kind of seeing from the outside looking in from afar, you know, what are some things that you tell him to like help him with his game?
Well, I just kind of give him things to focus on in his workout and things to look at and attack on the court, ways to attack certain defenses and You know, when the ball, like I say, defense can be broke. And the
Yeah.
way to break it is not on the first, because when you get the ball, everybody's set in stone. The way to break a defense when the ball is moved and then you attack. You cannot attack having the ball in your hand because everybody waiting on you. So then you in high school, you don't have a shot clock.
Right.
So wait for that perfect time. You not do one or two dribbles and pull up, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. When that ball is moving around, like I said earlier, if he's closing out on you, he can. It's no way a player should be able to,
it's difficult.
There's no way a player should be able to close out on you, still stay in front of you. So it's like I talked to my nephew too. He just got an offer from Southern Illinois from Terrence Howard.
Fire, love that.
Got the same exact name, DJ Richardson. Shout out to you.
We love that. We love that.
So, like I tell my nephew too, like you got to pick your poison. You got to really dissect the game and know when to attack and when not to attack. One dribble pull up, you do all the time. He closed out, dribble, 1, 2, 3. You know, a guy, you know, you can't really it gets to the point, like I got to a point in my career where I don't focus on the guy in front of me. And that came early in my career. Like, first of all, nobody can guard me. So I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about help.
Yeah.
I'm worried about where the help gonna come from or the next defender, because I know this guy right here.
Get past you,
you can't guard me. That's already. So through my workouts, when I try to show them and tell them, like, this is the next step. This guy in front of me, okay, I know all my counter moves. Work on counter moves, but what he gonna put defensively, okay, but I mastered that.
So the focus then becomes not the defender in front of you, but the help. Like I know I can get past you because like you said, I'm actively working on these moves one-on-one. But the challenge becomes, at least from what it sounds like, is when I beat you, what is my counter after that? Like how do I master that second guy coming over to close in, or
Exactly. And then after you find that out and they close that off, guess what you gotta do? You gotta counter that.
Yeah. So you gotta have a counter for the counter for the counter, essentially. Like, okay. I love that you break it down in that way, because like I said, I've always wondered what that mental state is like, or what the preparation is like for those kind of situations where you beat the first man and then you have to beat the trap, or you beat the first man and now you beat the second man, but then you got a third person coming out on you, or even like players who had to go through the box and won, because I know, like, for Siobhan, like I played with Siobhan, so like she was a sniper from 3. So a lot of the times when teams played against her, they always typically use the box and 1. And so I would always, like, I want to, like, next time I interview her, because I've interviewed her before, but I want to kind of pick her brain on that, on like, how do you even get in the mindset of beating the box and 1? Because essentially the defense is focused completely on you. They don't care about nobody else. They care about you. Like you were talking about in the Indiana game, like they didn't care about the guy that y'all was sitting down the middle. They cared about the guy in the corner, which was you.
I seen that a lot at Central. I got boxing 1 almost.
Yeah, and you did too. That's why I'm asking. I'm like, I know you got boxing 1 in the line because I saw it. So.
A lot. You want to know one thing, to go back to when I came from the Peace Jam, I was so hot. I was playing at the top level of my game.
Got you.
Of all, I had I'm gonna stamp this and say this. I had the best. I'm gonna stamp and stand on this. I can pull out the highlight tapes. I had the best Peoria Central. The shooting. You know what Central does? Shooting their little shooting thing.
Challenge. Yeah.
Well, like you know when they got teams from Chicago come, and you got Manuel.
The tournament.
In the summertime, I had the best shootout there, and this is gonna bring back so many memories, because that really showed me who I was as a player.
The level, yeah.
It did. So I want to just tell a lot of players that man, you just gotta work. That's all it comes down to. You gotta outwork anybody that you know, people be thinking locally. No, heck no.
That's those tournaments matter. Like those out of state tournaments, so even the in state tournaments, like all those tournaments matter because that's a showcase essentially. Like you get to put on your skills in front of the entire world because college coaches come in, spectators, it's your friends, your family, it's people that never seen you play before, and this is the first time that they're getting introduced to you. And I mean, for you to play in something like Peach Jam, like you got to be one of them ones to play in Peach Jam. Everybody ain't getting the invitation to Peach Jam.
Nah, like, and the top performer, there. That's different.
Top performer is even crazier because, like I said, like Peach Jam is one of those like that's like an invitation only type of situation. You don't get to just go to Peach Jam, like you know what I'm saying. So that's definitely very good advice. So I want to ask you too because I've asked everybody from the city their opinions and their rankings, and I gotta do it to you. I know DJ, you don't want to do it. You Mr. Humble, but we gonna get into some smoke. We didn't got into some smoke already. So at this point, it's no holds barred. I need your top 5 all-time male hoopers, and after you do that one, I need the top 5 female ones too, because I know you know some female hoopers too, because you grew up in the era. So I need the top 5 male ones first, because I know that's gonna be the hardest one. You can include yourself if you want to. You don't have to, but I need to know top 5 from DJ Richardson live. Let's go.
You didn't hit me over the head. Okay, all right.
I need it.
I can always if I was able to go off of, you know, I can't add Frank and Howard in there because I never seen them play.
Okay,
if older people was like, because I didn't even catch on to college basketball until Illinois that year they went to championship.
A lot of people in our era say that, so I feel that.
I'm not gonna lie, but if I was to, knowing from seeing highlights and stuff, I would put Frank and Howard in there. But from who I seen,
just go off who you seen. That's who you seen. Let's just make it easy. Who you seen?
There's no order. No order.
No order. We don't even do that.
Sean, Jamar Smith.
Okay.
Rodney Eggerson.
Okay.
That's 2. 3.
You need 2 more. You need 2 more. You just need 2 more.
Rodney Eggerson. Shit. I'll probably from my ear. Well, I seen them, and then
you said who? Matt.
I seen them. I'm trying to think. What I seen in my era in high school. Matt Ross.
Hey, so let's before you give me your 5th, let's stop. Let's pause right there for a second because Matt underrated. I'm so glad that you mentioned him. Underrated, pure hooper. Put it like pure scorer, pure shooter. Like every time Matt shot the ball, I felt like he was going in. Like he was one of them. And listen, and we love Matt. And like I said, this is unfiltered. This is raw. Matt used to be high as hell. Like that man used to be high as hell. Like coming to school, coming to practice, coming to games. But that man used to play lights out every single time. Every time you called his number, he was ready to answer. Every single time. So I'm glad that you put him in there. Yes. Matt was different.
He was on the fire. You hear me?
Yeah, he was on that gas early in the game. but hey, like I said, when it came time to hoop, he was always ready. He was quiet as hell, so he was cool. If you knew him and he rocked with you like that, you know what I'm saying? He would talk to you, but he was quiet for the most part. But yeah, he used to be.
I think you talking about Matt Storm. I'm talking about Matt Ross.
Oh, you talking about? Okay, we talking about 2 different Matts then, because I'm like the Matt that I know.
Oh no, hell no. Hey, okay, so Matt Ross was a good player. I'm talking about Matt Ross from Washington.
Oh, okay. Did he play with Darius? Is that the same person? Okay, so I confused him. But again, still same thing. Like he outside of smoking, of course, but he was a hooper too, though. Like he could definitely put the ball in it.
Because I think he still hold one. Like he was you got to start guarding him at half court. Because he'll
Yeah,
shoot
he
that.
holds the record, right? He has like a 3-point something record, right? Okay, yeah. I would say,
Matt Ross, yeah.
Yeah, he was different. He went to what college did he go to? Because he went D1, right?
He went to Indiana, but he didn't play over there. I think he tore the ACL.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so 2 different matches
That Matt
last night,
Ross.
but still, both
I
of
wish
them.
I had. Hey, look, I wish I had that type of help at Central. Hey, shouts out. Hey, shouts out to Sean. I love him. But Steve Harvey said this. He one of the greatest coaches through Peoria. Steve Harvey even mentioned this. He's the first one that said this. You know, Sean had he said I'm his GOAT of Peoria. He think I'm the best player.
Wow,
He's seen a lot.
that's
And
fire.
also, you know, I'm not gonna put myself in there because I want to put up other players besides myself.
Who's your 5th one? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Who's your 5th one?
My 5th one is
Matt Roth is a good one though. Now that you now I'm starting to replay some of the games that I saw him play. Yeah, he's definitely a good pick.
it'll
Who would be your
sheesh. Man, it's a toss-up between Bill Cole and Brandon Lee.
5th? Ooh. That's different because those are 2 names that so far, for the people that I've interviewed from the city, they haven't brought their names up. So that's interesting. Why would you choose those 2? I know it's kind of interchangeable, but why would you choose those 2?
Bill Cole led his team to the championship. This damn dog and took my damn flip-flop. Bill Cole, I want to say him because people underrate him at what he did. He was a big that got the job done. He averaged his points, his average block shots, play defense. And then one thing that people don't know, Bill Cole went from being a down low player going to Illinois to be a small forward.
Okay.
He switched his whole game up to he was a 3-point shooter. And Bill Cole was a good defender on the wing. So people I play with Bill Cole, so that kind of that really made people think dang, Bill Cole was really like that. Yeah. Bill Cole's a good defender, and he was a good scorer. He scored, he shot threes. He's one of our best 3-point shooting players on the team. And people don't give him that respect that he deserves. You know what I'm saying? Peoria, we got but some of these white, even Justin Dame. I would like to do a top 5
with him, yeah.
Best white basketball players in Peoria.
Because we have some ones.
We have some ones
for
Justin
sure.
Dame, Jake Mahler, Josh Edmonds. Josh Edmonds right there at the honorable mention. He was one of them.
Yeah, he was.
De'Aaron Williams.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Williams, Kelly Peterson for Limestone.
Limestone. Hey, people sleep on Limestone because Limestone has some hoopers. They had on the men's side and on the women's side as well. They had some ones for sure. So yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's an underrated school that don't really get a lot of love in the hoop conversations, but they have some ones for sure.
Man, you can't give me a top 5. My top 5, you gotta give me a top 10. I go top 10. I'm going top 10, sis. I'm going top 10.
Come on, brother. Give me another 5 then. Give me another 5.
I'll give another 5. I'm gonna go Josh Edmonds at 6 or 7 because I got Bill Cole and we gonna slash the Bill Cole and Brandon Lee. They at 5 together.
They at 5. So then you got you got Edmonds at 7 or at 6. So you got a 7, 8, 9, and 10.
I'm gonna go with
because I know somebody from Limestone that I think needs highly consideration on a top 10 list of city hoopers.
I know you talking about. I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Paris Gully.
Fair. Gotta put some respect on Paris Gully for sure.
Gotta put some respect on Paris.
Yeah.
Who else I'm gonna say? Top Peoria.
Yeah, we need 3 more. You need 3 more, brother. You need 3 more.
I'm going LaMarcus Anderson.
Okay. I like it.
Matter of fact, I gotta take Bill Cole and Brandon Lee out that top 5.
What? Okay. Why are you taking them out of the top 5? Who are you replacing them with?
Hopefully I said Rodney Anderson. No.
Oh.
Ederson. Rodney Anderson.
Okay.
Woodruff.
Yeah.
He was he 5.
Different. Okay, so 5. So then would you put Brandon Lee and Bill Cole at 6?
I'm put them at 6 because Rodney was a different animal. I'm gonna put Quentin Edwards at 7. No, I'm gonna put Danny Ruffin at 7.
Okay. That's another one. That's another one too that I haven't heard too much in anybody's top. Well, you doing a top 10, but still, like I haven't heard it mentioned enough. But
Time out. Nope, top 5. Who I put at 5?
You
Jamar Sean. Those 1 and 2.
Okay.
Who was 3?
Jamar. So you had Jamar Sean. Matt Ross I think he was either 3 or 4, somewhere in there. He was 3 or 4. I can't remember exactly which one, but I know he was 3 or 4 at least. Okay. I think he might have been 4. I think Matt Ross might have been 4. I'm not sure. I can't remember who you put at 3, but I know Matt Ross, I think, was at 4.
Rodney had like 3 or 4.
So you got so then you got Sean, Jamar, Rodney at 3. We'll put Matt Ross at 4. Who was at 5? Who did you have at 5 again? I think you might have moved Rodney up because wasn't Rodney at 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you moved him up. So then now who's 5?
Ooh,
who's 5? Yeah, it's where it get interesting. You gotta really start.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I don't want nobody to be mad at me or like.
Who's 5? Ooh. We need 5th. We need that 5th.
Damn, who? This is crazy. This is
and I start. You know?
Yeah, Sean, Jamar, Rodney, Matt Ross.
And who's 5?
It's one more than that 5.
Who's 5?
Shit, AJ.
Ooh, I like that. I
played with AJ. I seen AJ play. I ain't seen him play in high school, but I seen him play.
Yeah, AJ was different. Okay, so you got your 5. We'll leave it at that. You got your 5. 5 females.
I want to put Brittany Jordan in there, but I never seen her play.
Okay. So, and I'm glad that you said it because I said the same thing to Easy and D White because they said the same thing too. They were like, I feel like you got to do that, but we never saw her play. Listen, I got to play with and against Brittany Jordan multiple times. Believe me when I say she deserves to be on every top 5 list in the city for sure, without a doubt.
Brittany Jordan.
She deserved she was so unorthodox, but she was tough. Like you could not stop her from getting the bucket. You couldn't do it. Any way you wanted it, 3-point, post up, mid-range, fast break, however you wanted to receive that bucket, she could give it to you. It did not matter. I played against her at Landmark. I played against her at Open Gyms. I played against her at Carver. Played with her at all these same places. Trust me when I tell you, she deserves to be on the list. I'm glad you said that. So Brittany Jordan, who else? We need 4 more.
Hey, look, before I do the rest of the females, I'm gonna say this. People might not like this.
Okay.
Sean Livingston is probably he's the face of Peoria.
Absolutely.
He's the face of Peoria. But my goat of Peoria is Jamar Smith.
And that's fair. But see, the difference that comes with that is that people don't know Jamar Smith on the same level they know Sean. Sean is more visible, But I mean, people who know who was in the city around that time where Jamar Smith was at his height and actually got to see him hoop, know that they're really neck and neck. You know what I'm saying? It's just Sean got to the next level, obviously won championship, played with Steph, like, you know, all the accolades, which we can't take nothing away from Sean. But Jamar was right. I mean, he still is technically, think about it, right there as far as skill set. There was nothing that Sean Livingston could do that Jamar Smith couldn't. That's facts. So I'm glad that you said that.
Jamar, it's harder. I ain't gonna lie to you. As a shooting guard, you gotta come every night and score. A basketball was made to put that thing
in
the rim. You know, in the rim. And I understand everybody rolled for a team. Sean got buckets and everything.
Yeah,
but
he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't. He had the same responsibility as the Jamar Smith too. So you
Jamar get Jamar said this to me first. Buquitos. Buquitos. Jamar get Buquitos.
Yes, but he gave everybody Buquitos. So I saw, like I said, I'm a fan of basketball, so I know. Trust me, I watched all the legends that we're speaking about. I've watched a good majority of them, so I know exactly what you mean. And he was giving everybody Buquitos, everybody. But we need that other 4, my boy. We need that other 4. We got Brittany Jordan.
Okay, back to the women. Okay, yeah. I'm going for sure. I'm gonna put Brink. I ain't seen her play. I'm gonna definitely. I ain't gonna play her number 1.
Okay, but she's
my number 1. I would do number 1 for the women.
Okay.
My number 1 is Bianca Ward.
Say it again for the people in the back, because people don't understand.
That's a dude.
Literally, and man, look, like, again, all these people that you've named, I've seen them or played with them or played against them. Same thing goes for Bianca Ward. I went to Rolling Acres after leaving Louts in 6th grade. And Bianca Ward went to Richwood. And so on our Saturday practices, we would have to scrimmage against the Richwood players because a lot of them went to Rolling Acres. They brought Bianca Ward to one of our scrimmages, multiple of our scrimmages, but the very first time seeing her in person, different. Like, I was like, yo, she's not from here. Like, where did y'all pick her up at?
Bianca could have played D1 men or women.
I promise you. There was nothing she couldn't do. There was nothing she could not do. Nothing. Hey,
like I speak on earlier, my brother knew was coming to our open gyms. Bianca used to come too.
And kill. I know. Shout out to Curtis Lindsay, because a while ago, maybe a couple years ago, I don't know if it was on Facebook or on Twitter, but we were having a conversation about female hoopers in the city. And he brought up, I think I brought up Bianca Ward first, and he commented like, yo, like, she used to come to our open gym and bust our ass. Like, literally used to bust our ass. Like, there was nothing we could do with her.
And she did it effortlessly.
I know she did. She didn't sweat. She didn't break a sweat. I'm telling you, the first time I saw her in person, because I read papers. I've always been a basketball nerd for knowledge. Like, I've always been that way. And I read about it in the papers first. And I was like, I remember the first time she came to our open gym, or not our open gym, but our scrimmages on that Saturday. And Tony Johnson, shout out Tony Johnson. She was like,
that's my sister.
So that's family. Shout out, that's love. We used to live by each other, so I've known her forever.
That's my sister. Tony, my sister.
So she's like, when she walked in the she's like, yo, that's Bianca Ward. And I'm like, Bianca Ward? She's like, yeah, remember you brought me the paper, and like, that's her. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, we hooping with her today. Fun. Man, she gave us work that day. Like, when I say work, she gave us work that there was nothing. No, we triple team, double team, diamond boxing one. It didn't matter. Like, she gave us work that day. Like, work. So honestly, big respect for her.
Big respect for her. People gotta understand, she was a freshman. I think they played, who they lose to? They lost to Candace Parker in downstate.
Yes, people don't understand. Like, she was right there. Like, if Candace Parker's here, Bianca Ward is here, as far as as far as rankings in the city at that point. Like, they're literally like because Candace Parker was. I mean, I'll give it like a smidge bit of separation, but
I
Bianca
can't.
was like I have to, bro. Nah, bro, because Candace Parker. We talk about something. That's another whole nother podcast. Because Candace Parker was different.
She was a freshman. She was, but sis, Bianca was a freshman.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And Bianca got in trouble probably by her sophomore or junior year.
Like the end of her sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
I'm putting in there. I might put Bianca even or I ain't, man.
Listen, Bianca, bro. If I could ever find her, bro, like I would give anything to interview her.
I talked to Bianca.
Okay.
Like I said,
well, we gonna have to talk outside of this because she's another one who needs to be able to tell her story. Like, cause she was an inspiration for me, bro. Cause like I used to do it, I would break my neck to watch that woman hoop, like for real. Cause she was really like that. Like you remember back in the day, like the and1 mixtape time was big at that time, like with the street ball moves and shit like that, bro. One Saturday, they came to our little scrimmage or whatever. She's coming down. I forgot what defense we were in at the time. Tony gets to her first. Now she hit like a little small move on Tony, but it was enough because she was quick, so it was enough to get past her. I'm the next person behind Tony. Like I'm literally behind Tony, and I'm like, nah, I'm not about to let her do it to me, bro. When I tell you she hit, like she went between the legs and she kind of gave me a crossover, but I didn't bite him. So when I didn't bite, she kind of had to look like, oh, okay. So she backed it up. Was at the 3-point line. When I tell you she threw the ball to the backboard, I must have turned around and looked. When I looked back to her, the ball was back in her hand. I was like, bro, how did she pull it off? Like, what did I miss? Like, how did this happen, bro? Like, to give people a perspective, like, she was like that. So, okay, so we got Brittany Jordan, Bianca Ward 2. Who's your next 3? We need 3 more.
I probably got to go with Nakia.
Okay, you gotta put Nakia for sure.
Nakia Hughes.
Yeah. Central Bread, you can't leave Nakia out.
Can't leave Nakia out. I ain't biased. I don't know. From the females that man.
It's just a top 5. We can be real.
I'm gonna go Kylie Grant and Tara Burns.
Tara Burns, absolutely. Yeah,
No,
shout out to Tara Burns too.
Hey Tara, I'm sorry, Tara. I rock with you. I love you, but I got to go Tiffany Keller.
Hey, okay. So listen, that's not even bad because TK again like that, like tough. Like she was one of them. Like honestly, all the killers, all 3 of them. You got to get that whole family. They
Shouts out to Travis. Travis was a freshman when I was like a junior, and he was playing. He might have been starting varsity. And he was holding it down. Him, Mike Gills, me, Donnie, and Rose.
Yeah, Donnie. Shout out Donnie. Shout out Rose. Shout out Mike. Definitely shout out Travis. Travis was definitely a hooper. Definitely tough. I remember he dunked on Buddy from I think manually was Clarity too. It's still on YouTube, but go look it up.
Go look it up. Travis dunking on somebody on YouTube. You hear me? You hear me? You know what I'm saying?
Man, we have some, and this is why like these conversations are so important because, like I said, we have so many great people come from the city that don't get the proper love. So this is the opportunity to give them that love and to show them that support. But man, yeah, that's a tough 5 on both sides. That's a tough 5 on both sides for sure.
The male is so tossed up. Like I said, only one
I know wrong, honestly.
Jamar, Sean, Rodney. Like I said, you can't forget De'Aaron Williams too.
And some of the young guns after that, I mean, still like they probably got their own top 5 to be honest.
The young guns is tough. That's why, just to kind of touch on some other people too. Man, Bobo.
Bobo.
Yeah, Bobo. my brother, Foot, you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, Donovan.
Donovan for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. Donovan went crazy in high school. Went
Yeah.
crazy. But only thing I can say, like, and this all love, my brother. I don't have no hate. I touched back on the James Harden conversation. He had like 32 points against us, but he shot like 30 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, if you shoot 30 times, you're supposed to get 60 points or 70,
Right.
so nothing against what he did in the points he scored. He did score 32 points, but
It was a lot of shots, yeah.
to get that 32 points. And he had 45 the night before against Washington. So that's like he was a very good player. And I mean, but you take a lot of shots, man. Like,
yeah.
I love him as a brother. I still put him in like the top 10 for men.
Yeah, for sure.
In the era I played in, but he just took a lot of shots. And if I took a 30 shots a game, man, what? You think
about you getting 60. Yeah, you getting 60 at least for sure.
For sure.
So now go ahead.
That's my top 5. That's my top,
yeah.
That's my top 5.
Love that.
Man. It might not be accurate, like it's on point. It's like a right here question.
Yeah. Honestly, everybody's interchangeable. Like I said, there's so many, so you really can't go wrong. Like there's really no wrong answer. It's just personally what sticks out in your mind. So before we wrap it up here, I want you to touch bases on like what's going on with you now. Like what's some stuff that people can look forward to that's coming from you. Like what's the next steps in DJ Richardson's career and just lifespan. Like what you got going on next.
Right now, I've been looking at working for Nike, and I'm also looking forward to getting back into coaching, college coaching.
Okay.
Those two things that I really got on my radar right now. Man, I just want to just helping out any way I can to the Peoria. Like, even though I'm not there, I still help out in ways I can help out, and I just want to see everybody be great.
Absolutely. So I mean, you talked about the rapping. Where can people find your music and follow you and show you support and love as far as the music goes?
King Rich, aka Japan. King Rich, aka Japan. You can find me, and just because this podcast, I'm gonna drop a song where we talked about the jail situation. I'm gonna drop that.
Yes. Because which is fire, by the way. I got to hear it exclusive. It's fire.
Like I said, I move in silence. I don't put too much on social media. I love and rock with a lot of people, but I think I could be more vocal.
Yeah.
But I'm so much more of moving quiet, especially with me having a name and a voice. I just need to start opening up the social media and people more.
Yeah.
And I just think that's what I'm gonna start doing more. I'm a quiet, laid back person.
Yeah.
I'm not quiet. I'm not quiet if you know me, but to the public, like I don't really, I don't really care. I don't really, I feel like a lot of people they care, but they care about what I gotta say. But for myself, I just don't. I don't know. I just don't talk much when it comes to like social.
That makes sense. So at King Rich Japan, is that Instagram? Is that like where are they gonna follow you?
Well, my Instagram is one DJ Rich. If you want to go to my main page, I do have a music page with King Rich, aka Japan. So I mean, you can follow. I can follow those. Go follow me on those. I'm a quiet person. Like,
man, but you gotta put yourself out there. You doing the music thing. You gotta let them know what's going on, man.
I do. I got a lot of music dropping. I say like that. I ain't dropped music in like a year and a half or 2 years, but being out here in Memphis and working with people, my cousin, Lil Willie Anderson, I love you. Cuz I've been around Cuz been around NLE Chopper and a lot of people in the industry. So I've been around, you know, people that's really in the industry, and it's kind of really been helping myself grow in the music world, and it made me better. So I got a lot of stuff going on with the music scene.
So yeah, man, make sure y'all follow my guy. He got the music going on. He's still out here helping the community, trying to coach the kids and things of that nature, and drop these good gems and this knowledge that he had on the future generation that's coming up behind him. And again, like I said at the beginning of the show, it's an honor and a privilege to have my guy on the show, have my brother on the show, because like I said, I know he was holding in a lot of that stuff that he, you know, and he's like you said, he's a quiet person, so he don't really like to talk too much. But I know that he had a lot of information that he could share with the world that could help and could affect some people that are coming behind and who want to accomplish some of the same things that he accomplished, or even go farther beyond that. So it's definitely needed, these kind of conversations. And like I said, coming from a guy like you who's been through so many different things and had so many different experiences, like this has been great to just learn from you and to hear from you and to allow you to share your story. So again, my brother, it's been an honor for you to be on the show with me, and definitely we got to do some more stuff in the future. You know, you and I have been talking, so we're gonna definitely lock in. But is there anything else that you would like to share with the people before we wrap it up, please?
Last thing I want to say to the younger generation that's into sports and doing it, when I won my MVP and did that in Finland, I worked out 7 to 8 hours a day. Beat that. That's all I gotta say to y'all.
That's different, because that's work ethic, that's discipline, and you've been having that for a long time. And just even to make it to that level and still have that same kind of discipline and that same kind of love, that's important.
Hey, beat that, and then I'm gonna show y'all the back of this T-shirt. Hope y'all can see it.
Share. Let us see what's going on. What's on
Hey,
that?
this last one I gotta say. Can you see it?
I never took the easy way out. Love that. Love that. Never took the easy way out. That's fire. The kids gotta know that.
Love you, sis. We out here.
You already know
we outside.
Love, man. Thank you so much once again.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.